What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1032 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host for the day. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Olivia Dasovic. I am the community coordinator here at Timcast. You guys should go to timcast.com, hit join us, and become a member and join our Discord server.
A shameless plug right off the bat.
I'm always going to do that. You got to remind me beginning and the end. Just sandwich it in, you know?
Always good. And we have a guest today. Introduce yourself, sir.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Brando back here again. Thanks for having me back. I am what is referred to now, I believe, as a utility knight.
I was going to say utility player.
Utility player, designated hitter here at Timcast. Great to be here.
Doing all sorts of stuff.
Yes, sir. Trying to keep up, you know?
Well, you've been wanted to have you on the last couple of weeks, but you've had Booney stuff going on.
Yeah. Coincidentally, the days that I like to do the show and I'm available to do the show and have been doing the show for a while, we've actually been doing our recordings for Skateboard Podcast.
Well, yeah, because Mary is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She was not here Monday this week because she was out of town. She had something going on, but normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it would be weird to do remote one person and two. I still maintain that it would be weird to have two people in studio and one person remote because there is a mild delay. It's a very slight delay.
Yeah.
And it feels like your attention would automatically go to the person in the room rather than the person on the monitor.
Yeah, it's like having someone lagging in Party on like Xbox, and you're just like, dude, I said that like 4 seconds ago. Isn't it weird that like when Mary's out of town, she's out of town like double because she's technically not here anymore?
Yeah, she's double out of town.
She's like double out of town when she's
out of town.
Yeah, out of town.
So that answers the question. There were some comments in the live stream yesterday as well, and in some of the segments, and I'm sure whoever's watching these segments that get cut up later will not be watching the start of this live stream, but it is my job to mention it off the bat. Mary will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Again, she was out of town. She had some stuff going on, but she is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Olivia has been very gracious with her time to fill in.
Yeah, well, you know, now that I'm paid to come in and do a job here, it's much more. Yeah. I guess I don't feel as, you know, oh, Brett's asking I should do it. It's just, okay, got to go do PCC. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah,
so,
now it's like, okay, I'm going to work.
Yeah, like Brett doesn't guilt me into it anymore. He's not like, I'm so stressed, and I'm like, oh, man, as your wife, I hate to see it. So exactly. I do love that.
Happy husband is a happy home.
That's what I've been told.
That's what I've been reminded.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to get into today. I also want to let you guys know that I will be recording a bonus episode of PCC to go live. Oh, well, actually, I don't know if I'm going to put it up tonight or if I'm going to put it up tomorrow, but I'm going to be recording a bonus episode with Valiant Renegade tonight. We're going to talk about the prospective box office for Avengers Doomsday and the reported budget that's being given for that movie, which is astronomical, and we're going to get into some of the numbers. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the test screenings. We're also going to talk, I believe, a little bit about the 1,000-person open letter written to try and stop the Paramount merger, which is really just a weird form of TDS because these people had no problem with Disney buying up a whole bunch of companies. So we'll get into that tonight, and members of PCC's channel on YouTube will be able to catch that early when I put it up. I'll try to probably put it up Wednesday evening, and then it will be available for everybody as a final video on Sunday night. So stay tuned for that episode. Valiant Renegade is consistently used as a source in mainstream publications. The guy absolutely knows what he's talking about. Fantastic dude. He's been on the channel before, so look out for that. If you are a channel member, you will get early access, and that's another thing I need to say. Channel memberships for PCC, if you are watching on YouTube, are open for anybody who wants to join. There are emojis, and we are also always taking suggestions for new emojis to add to the channel. There's all sorts of emojis on there, whether you want to spam Mocha, Chloe,
could we put
Toast.
the watermelon Snicker bar hot dog man as an emoji?
No,
please?
I'm putting the kibosh on that one.
Brandon's like, what the heck are you talking about?
You don't want to know, my friend.
It might be better not knowing.
So,
but Tate could fill you in. Tate firmly believes that man is a patriot.
Why am I not surprised that he's connected to this?
What are we getting into today? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Katy Perry, this news dropped yesterday before we even did the show. I wanted to save it till today. And, you know, it was a smart thing that we did because more stuff has come out since then. Katy Perry is getting MEETOO'D. She is being MEETOO'D by Ruby Rose, who played Batwoman over on the CW back in like 2021. So we're going to talk all about that situation, the additional allegations that are resurfacing, as they always say, and some other stuff that's being said online. And we're also going to talk about Lena Dunham from the TV show Girls. She has wrote a tell-all book because there is one unblemished pipeline in all of Hollywood, and that is young female celebrity to tell all book. That is the pipeline that they can all go down, where they reveal a bunch of spicy details which just look like coworker disagreements on set but are written to be salacious. So we'll get into her comments on Adam Driver, her co-star on that show. We are also going to talk about the fact that Donald Trump was not able to drain the swamp, so TMZ is coming to the rescue. They have set up offices in Washington, D.C., and they are currently scaring the crap out of the likes of Lindsey Graham and other such people in the swamp by asking them for comment, and then they all say no comment. And it kind of all ties into the fact what is going on right now, coincidentally, with Eric Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez and all of this stuff that's going on, pop culture and politics sort of melding into one big thing altogether. I actually believe some of it is just kind of a distraction from Harvey Levin, whose name got mentioned in the Epstein files, and now everybody's kind of forgotten about that.
I can't wait for you to give your full conspiracy.
Oh, I already forgot it. It was good though.
You had a really good one, and you know what? I'll let you try to remember it if you don't.
No, because I would I'm not going to court. It was so absurd that I'd get sued for it. But and I don't actually believe it.
You just have to keep saying allegedly.
It was. I would have required like 30 allegedly.
That's okay.
But that's okay. We got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we can go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Let's get it.
Let's go ahead and get started then. What better way to start off the show than talking about the absolute and utter decline of Hollywood, which is something you guys know that I absolutely love to talk about. Hollywood declines. Senator Schiff says that 45% of U.S. films, scripted TV shows were shot abroad in the year 2025. If you don't know what abroad means, it means it was shot somewhere other than the United States.
Nobody shot abroad.
It's not a woman, okay?
Yeah. It's not a woman. It's not a lady.
She didn't get Baldwin.
Says Senator Schiff, Democrat from California, detailed the Hollywood decline by noting that roughly 45% of U.S. films and scripted shows are not being shot here in the good old U.S. of A. Shared his concerns about the state of the Hollywood film industry during a Burbank City Hall Chambers, where he reportedly where it was reportedly, sorry, just make sure everybody's shots are good there. Looks good. Yes. Said that shared his concerns about the film industry during a Burbank City Hall where it was reported that it was packed with Hollywood union workers, community advocates, and journalists per the LA Times. Schiff said that more than 42,000 jobs have been lost, along with the livelihood and careers, adding that the entertainment projects are being hired abroad by foreign governments that have invested aggressively in building their own film industries. The senator noted that 45% of all films and scripted shows last year were shot abroad, a full 12% spike from 2022's 33%, while Schiff appreciated some of the incentive programs that California politicians have implemented keeping productions in state. He's calling for a federal tax credit. BS! There should be absolutely zero federal tax credits for this. It bolsters
100%.
the local economy.
100%.
That is a good thing. You should elect local politicians to push for causes that benefit local industry. The federal government should have nothing to do with this. I wrote an op-ed for the Daily Caller last year when Trump was talking about Hollywood tariffs. I said, BS, the federal government should not be in the business of subsidizing anything to do with Hollywood. This was the quote. State programs cannot simply substitute for the kind of global, federal, and competitive tax incentives that are needed to bring production back to America. He wants to stop its offshoring, he said, in the event that the urgency could not be greater. Industry leaders have voiced support for a U.S. federal incentive program that would potentially help keep productions in the States. Quote, theoretically, it just makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't, said Joe, is it Chianese, Senior Vice President at Entertainment Partners. Would I say that wrong? It looks
it's
right
Joe
to me.
Chinese, okay?
It's not Chinese.
It's Joe Chinese.
It's chia. It's
We
chia.
thought the same
He's like a
thing.
chia
The
pet.
A is silent.
He is a chia pet, okay?
Chinese.
He's chia pet.
Chinese. I thought
Agree to
Chinese
disagree.
too.
If it were to happen, it would definitely help not just California, but U.S. production in general. They're full of BS, and the federal government should have nothing to do with it. If you want more of an idea of just how bad it is in California, LA County lost 42,000 jobs in just 2 years. Over 100,000 jobs lost in Hollywood since 2022. In 2025, $12.15 billion in spending, which is unfortunately down 20% from 2024, which means it's just a sinking ship all around. And here's the thing. you cannot compete with the labor in the UK. Okay, so more flexible, way less rules, way better operating times, and they don't have to do the above the board. Because of their National Health Institute or whatever, they don't have to do the tax incentives for any of the medical care or anything like that. There's just no reason to keep it in the U.S. for most of these companies, if you're speaking totally pragmatically.
Yeah, do you think there needs to be, like, what level should this be handled at? The state? Do you think it should be county, city,
level.
state level?
That's a state level thing for sure.
Here's an idea. So the UK unions are more production friendly. It's called the BECTU. And they have equity agreements tailored to major U.S.-backed features that balance worker protections with the need to keep the U.K. competitive with other film markets, which is, that's what you should be doing locally, which is why Canada is also a place where so many people go to have things filmed. So it says UK unions cannot easily strike in solidarity with US unions. And why would they? Because a UK union strike benefits them.
Right. No, it does. I mean, look, there's a reason that Hollywood has been kind of going down and really just circling the drain here for quite some time. There's no one reason. It's a whole myriad of reasons that this is happening. And I'm not surprised at all. And I'm looking at the chat. Everyone's talking about AI movies are coming and these things are going to happen. AI doesn't need health insurance. AI doesn't need to have a union. AI doesn't need to do all these things. Well, I don't really want AI to be the arbiter of making our art or anything like that. I do understand that, it is cost effective.
So in the last 15 years, Disney has gotten about $2.2 billion worth of tax relief from filming in the UK, mainly at places like Pinewood Studios. That adds up. That adds up to a lot of saved money on flops that end up making no money down the line. And right now, Disney is laying off 1,000 workers, and they're having to answer for this right now. This was from Variety. It says the media company is eliminating about 1,000 jobs, primarily as a result of Disney's formation of a consolidated enterprise marketing division under the leadership of Asad Ayaz, the chief marketing and brand officer, which is from a source that's familiar with the situation. The cuts will span marketing functions across Disney Studios and TV networks, ESPN, product and technology. All around the industry is contracting. They're trying to avoid strikes again in the year 2026, despite the fact that they're still suffering from everything that happened with the strikes in 2023. And here's the other problem. The likes of, Ben Stiller. Let me see if I can read this. I pulled it up after the...
the likes of Ben Stiller.
So this is what Ben Stiller had said about the... If you guys don't know, yesterday we talked about the 1,000 different actors that signed this open letter to try and stop the merger between Warner Brothers and Paramount. And what they don't understand is the 1,000 people that wrote this, what they don't get is that merger is not the cause of the problem. It's a reaction to the cause of the problem.
Well, we have a 20 before you go ahead and read that from Not That Jon Stewart. He said, I keep getting told California is the world's 4th largest economy. If they can't figure it out, F them.
They lose money on weed. I don't even know how that's possible to lose money on weed.
Just a lot of people. Yeah.
So it says, this is what Ben Stiller said. This is an important moment. This is, by the way, this was in relation to the idea of consolidation. He says, this is an important moment. Whenever a small number of powerful entities determine what gets made and on what terms in any field, it leaves creators and independent businesses with fewer viable paths to sustain their work. This will negatively affect the livelihood of so many people in our industry, and on a creative level, it limits the breadth of expression of different viewpoints. Hollywood hasn't cared about the expression of different viewpoints in 30 or 40 years, so that's BS. If only a few determine what we get to watch and experience in theaters and on TV shows and in the media. So nobody had a problem when Disney was buying up every company on the map, when they were buying up Pixar, when they were buying up Marvel, and when they were buying up Lucasfilm.
So why do you think that is? What would you say? Like, is it because people like Disney more, or is it because?
Because they don't like. It's because they don't like the Ellisons, and they view the Ellisons as MAGA adjacent or something. So it's
purely not liking the Ellisons.
In my opinion,
right? I mean that would track, right? Because they do like Disney for the most part. They're not loving some of the recent changes they've made from some of the pushback, but it I don't know. I could see that being like it's more of a personal thing. It's giving the same energy as someone not liking any of us because of who we work for. like the same energy being like, you work for Tim Pool, how dare you? And you're like, so it's not me, it's who I work for.
The thing is, the companies are responsible for this, but not because of the consolidation. They're responsible for this because for the last over a decade, they've made a bunch of stuff for niche audiences that nobody wants to watch, and as a result, they've had to consolidate businesses because they keep making things that nobody wants to actually spend money to buy. Consolidation is a reaction to the problem. Bad product and policy at these companies is the actual problem that has caused it.
I think the causality of that too is them like specifically writing scripts and storylines that are meant to be elsewhere too, which just.
What do you mean?
Like, think about like, I mean, there's a lot of movies. Don't get me wrong, where they could cut it to where they're filming in other countries and make it look like they're in this one, right? But like, if they're predominantly shopping overseas. Don't you think they're probably writing some of these like scripts and stuff based off of these locations that they want to work out of?
You mean like architecture and stuff like that?
Yeah, something like kind of like a background architecture thing.
I
like,
mean, they that's a little bit true for the Batman, I suppose, because there's plenty of architecture in the UK that could stand in for Gotham. But obviously, in America, we did it with sets for the earlier Batman films, and then Chicago stood in for it.
They moved it to Chicago, and I mean, they still use
in other places. I mean, there was Pittsburgh, and there was other U.S. cities
when they actually in, I think it was Dark Knight when Morgan Freeman goes overseas to go talk to Lau. And they're sitting on that top roof. That's actually across the street from McCormick Place in Chicago.
And then they didn't jump off it. They had to then do it, they had to do it on a sound stage to do the actual when he goes to get Lau. When he goes off the roof and he does the free dive, they had to do that. They had to rebuild it on a soundstage to do that because they didn't get clearance to do it off the actual building.
It's ridiculous. I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
ridiculous. But
well, I mean, like there's plenty of TV shows that used to be filmed in LA that stood in for other places, but now it's too expensive to film in LA. Period. So half the sound stages are empty and nothing's getting made there.
Used to just be all studio magic.
As a result of all of these problems, let's talk about what the cause of whatever ended up being. And that is, of course, one of the things that Hollywood is kind of most infamous for in the most recent couple of years is DEI. And Issa Rae has had stuff to say about this. She says, you need to be smarter about pitching shows with a diverse cast now that DEI has become a bad word, and says that Hollywood is in an identity crisis. Issa Rae recently told The Wrap that Hollywood is in an identity crisis, in an identity crisis, excuse me, guys, and is experiencing a downturn in representation both behind of and in front of the camera. I started Awkward Black Girl because there was a dearth of representation in the industry, and it felt like this was my opportunity to put an archetype into the show space that didn't exist at the time, she said. And now, even after so much progress, we're kind of back to where we started with limited representation and having to stake claim of our stories. We're back to where we started in a way, but wiser. So I suppose they're saying that they made progress for a certain amount of years, and now, of course, that progress is gone. That's, of course, not true. The thing about activism, whether it's political activism, social activism, really the desire to kind of push forward a cause of any sort, is that there's no such thing as, look, we've made it far enough, it's time to stop, because you make money by having a cause that you have to push, which is cleverly why I tell you guys I have no cause here. The whole point of this show is to kind of give you something to spend a couple of hours of your day watching and not to really sell you on anything. Most people in the space will tell you that you have to have some type of call to action because it kind of pushes people forward and helps you grow your audience.
Well, that's why feminism has ended up being the train wreck that it is. Because what happened was, we just want the right to vote. Okay, here's the right to vote. Well, now I want to open a credit card. Here's a credit card. Well, now I
why
want to
didn't
work.
you let women open credit cards?
Here, go to work. Okay, well, now I want to be seen as equal in the workplace. Okay, fine. And then they're like, okay.
Me and Olivia had this conversation at home all the time. I'm like, oh my God.
I was gonna
why
say
does you want the world?
Giving women credit cards definitely didn't age well.
Right, well, no, it did not. It absolutely did not. Have you guys watched Caleb Hammer? But, there are plenty of things where it's like, okay, we're moving the goalpost because we got this thing that we wanted. That goes for Hollywood as well. Okay, well, we wanted to have a target of 50-50. Well, now we have 50-50 minorities and, majority. Oh, well, now, you know what? We need to overrepresent just to make up for that, the years of whatever. So it's absolutely, it's disheartening, right? But it's how it got to where it is today. It's moving the goalpost, and that's what Hollywood is continuing to do. So they're saying, we made progress, but now we're moving the goalpost, and so the progress actually isn't enough now.
I haven't even gotten to the most racist part of this article.
Oh, well,
Do proceed.
This is what she says. You have to be smarter about how you package and market projects. She's talking about projects with DEI. She explained, you tell them it's not a show about a black woman. It's a show about class. As icky as that might feel, it gets the show sold. Which seems to me like what she's saying is that a show about a black woman somehow has to do with class warfare. Meaning that what?
Well, do you remember what Joe Biden said? He said that poor kids are just as capable and whatever as white kids.
Yes.
He said it.
The other thing about DEI's policy is that the first place that this came for in the industry would have been to replace traditionally white characters that had already been created with characters of other races. Not to speak necessarily of original shows. There are people like Tyler Perry who have been doing well in Hollywood for well over a decade, making their own stuff and becoming billionaires doing it and being very, very successful, telling stories that resonate with black culture. Perfectly great. That's awesome. But when you race swap characters, that was where people started to have an issue with it, which is why I found the end of this also really funny. She recalled how she was approached about a television adaptation of her YouTube series Awkward Black Girl. However, it was pitched as a complete overhaul with an entirely new cast. She quipped, they talked about recasting everyone, including me, with celebrities, so that was an easy no. So she kind of gets it.
The audacity.
How dare they want famous people on shows?
Wanting to recast everything.
You can't recast me with a celebrity. What the oh my god.
Okay, so the thing. DEI policies obviously started going away once Trump was elected to his second term because it became a federal no-no. But that's doesn't really matter because it just gave the studios another excuse to roll back these policies. Really, it was the 2023 strikes and the financial fallout of Hollywood post-strikes in 2023 that gave them another jumping off point, because when you start making cuts, the least important divisions are the ones to go first. Somebody was talking about how the first jobs that AI is going to come for is the people who run DEI departments.
Yeah.
Because they're not necessary.
What? Go for it. Honestly, if I had advice for Hollywood, it would be get rid of your DEI department.
I also have another question for you, because I got into a fun little debate with somebody on X the other day, and it kind of fits into this, which is, I don't even remember what show we were talking about at the time, but basically I was talking about something not making any money, and he said, I don't think it matters, I don't think they want to make money anymore. And I'm saying, well, it can't all be about just the message. If that was true, Disney wouldn't have spent the last year and a half trying to course correct. So what amount of Hollywood is actual dyed-in-the-wool, ideologically radicalized people that just want to push the message, and what percentage of it is executives who maybe they're smart, maybe they're not, wanting to actually make some money, but not seeming to know how to do that?
So they're just sticking with it.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what percentage of it is. Like, you can go back and forth on this. I tend to believe that it's actually a bunch of executives who want to make money, whose lack of understanding of the film business, coupled with the activism of the creatives that are ideologically poisoned, kind of becoming a perfect storm of failure.
I mean, show me an executive that didn't want to make some kind of return off of an investment. You know?
I mean, but that's what people are saying. They're saying that they don't care about making money. All they care about... It's more likely to believe that the actors don't care about making any money, because that's actually the truth, because they're paid up front, outside of the ones who are willing to bet on their own worth to the point where they're going to take less money up front and more money if their movie does better at the box office. Most of them don't care about making extra money because they get paid up front, so the message is all that matters.
You got actors like Keanu Reeves that live like normal people, even though they have a fortune. They don't go pissing all their money away on stuff. Like, they're like structurally sound, you know, when it comes to their pocket. And
that used to be more the purview of the average television actor, at least the one that the average television actor that worked consistently by getting regular, like like leading roles in network shows. The blue collar version of a Hollywood star, where they're making really good money, and those are like the ideal job for a Hollywood actor now, is to get the job on the few 22 episode shows that still exist, because they're making a crap ton of money every episode, and they have a certain level of I guess work, like Like they're guaranteed work because the show's going to keep getting
better. The longer that they're in work, it's almost kind of like construction, like not being laid off, And plus when you tie into that the whole insurance thing that goes on out there, like we were talking about with Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
If you're out of work for too long and you're an actor in Hollywood, that insurance just kind of goes away.
I always think about it. So as an IMDb regular, I look at some of these actors who they're not starring in the shows, but they're regular guest stars on a show. And if all you're doing is like 1 to 2 guest spots a year, like you're not making a living on that.
We have a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. He said, I agree with Olivia. Hollywood's problems are death by 1,000 cuts, accumulations of crappy creative and financial decisions made by a lot of people. Fixable? Having been an observer and participant for 40 plus years, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Titanic. I don't know if you can turn it around yet.
Yikes.
You know?
Oof.
I don't think I would ever want to be an actor in Hollywood because I can't imagine. Like I said, I look at the actors who work a couple of times a year on a show. Now, IMDb only shows you like union jobs. They're obviously doing other things, but you're basically required to be multiple things at once now. You can't just be an actor. You also have to be like a brand ambassador and grow your social media platforms. It seems like a hellish industry to work in.
I wouldn't want to be in it.
You wouldn't?
Oh, heck
Not
no.
even if somebody offered you good money to be an actress?
Dude, they could offer me $1 million and like I don't want, okay, maybe $1 million. But you know what I mean? Like there's
I was gonna say $1 million, I'd be fine.
I guess maybe for like one, but like to have to go for a career to do that, you'd have to offer me $1 million on like a project, right? Because I don't think I'd want to do that the rest of my life. I mean,
after agent and lawyers, you're coming away with like
I
nothing.
am good with sitting on a podcast and talking about things that I like to talk about. I don't know if I want to take over the role of somebody and like, I don't know if I could do that. Also, I'd probably laugh at like every scene. I would be like, I can't do it. I'm so awkward. I'd be like,
for me, it would depend on whether or not I'm able to kind of put my own spin on these things. Because like when it comes like things for music, an example, if I were ever to come into another band or something, there was an amount of like, hey, cool, like, learn our songs. But there was also this other kind of entity there that was like, hey, feel free to put your own spin on shit. Keep it tasteful, don't go nuts, but like if you want to make the songs your own, and put your own kind of flair and style on them, that's in my opinion where I feel like an artist gets that room to kind of grow, because now you're learning someone else's style, but you're also contributing your own style to it, which in my opinion just makes you kind of just, eat the Mario mushroom and grow. Like,
yeah, and it's not something I'd say like, oh, I would never, but I just don't know if I'd be good at it. That's the thing.
You never know until you try.
Yeah, I does 6th grade, does the musical in 6th grade count? That was my acting debut, and coincidentally, actually no, it wasn't my debut, that was 5th grade, but still, I have not done a single theater or acting role since 6th grade when we did a rendition of The Music Man. And I played Amaryllis, and I was so good.
It sounds like we need a reprisal here.
Maybe. I don't even remember the words.
You've been out of work for too long. Your insurance is about to lapse. We got to do something about this.
True.
I reject the notion, the straw man argument that people in conservative circles have that actors are just people playing pretend. I think it's a simplistic idea of what they do that's meant more as a way of denigrating their point of view.
Yeah.
Most people imagine they try to imagine themselves as an actor during like the most dramatic scene you can think of and really like hitting the drama of that moment, but that's not where I think it is. Just from being on podcasts have you ever seen the compilations of like worst fake laughter on a podcast?
Yeah.
Like that's where the real talent as an actor is. When somebody tells a joke and people have to like
Chanel
pretend
West
to
Coast.
laugh.
Definitely Chanel West Coast.
And people have to like pretend to laugh
who's
as if
really
what they saw
good?
was something funny.
Allison Janney, when she laughs in The West Wing, I think she's actually laughing, and it turns out all of those laughs were fake, which I'm like, obviously you're an actor, they're not all going to be real. But I was like, how can you like laugh?
I would bet you none of them are real. By take 30, it's not funny.
Right, it depends on the take, right? But how can you laugh that hard? And like, there are scenes where you laugh with her because of how she laughs. Like, even thinking about it, I'm smiling because of the way she laughs. And that was what they said on the podcast they did with Josh Molina and whatever, I can't remember the co-host name, but they were saying that.
Was it a podcast about the West Wing?
Yes, it was like a rewatch of the West Wing. West Wing Weekly. I think it was like a really basic name.
Do you listen to those like podcasts?
You know
with
what? I
actors
listened
from
to
shows?
it for a while, but it kind of took it out of me when the guy that was hosting it was just a fan of the show. Like Josh Molina was on the show, but he wasn't in the first few seasons. And so when you bring someone who was just a fan of it, that can be really cool, but it would have been really, like, I think it would have been much better with like a producer or someone who worked on the show for most of its run. They have guest appearances of some people. Like, I think most of the cast has been on it, but it is hard for me. So I've mentioned this before, and this ages me, not even like old, but it ages me as someone who's younger. The Hannah Montana rewatch that Jason Earls is doing. I talked about it, the Hannah Montana segment last week. They have 2 producers and him, and he was one of the main characters. And I like it because it's like, okay, I remember watching that episode when I was, I don't even know how old I would have been at that point, but probably like 11. Can't remember now. But that gives me more insight to behind the scenes, why they made those choices that they did, rather than someone who's like, yeah, I remember watching that as a fan. Like, that doesn't do it for me the same way that someone involved
I'm
would.
the total opposite. Like,
really?
I've tried to listen to podcasts.
Are we gonna fight again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, people thought we were fighting yesterday because we had opposing takes on Justin Bieber's Coachella performance, and people thought we were like mad at each
people
other.
were like, "Are you guys?" I'm like, "No." Like, the camera turned off, and it was just like, "Okay, good show today." And we walked away.
But I've tried to listen to podcasts. I tried to listen to the one on The Mentalist.
The Bones one too.
I tried to listen to the Bones one, but I tried to listen to one on The Mentalist with Tim Kang and Owen Yeoman, and I can't. Like,
Really?
I actually find it far more fascinating to hear what some random person's thoughts are on a TV show. And oddly enough, it's actually because they tend to be what I would think of as like the ideal version of a fan that I could never be, meaning that they're like way more informed about the subject matter. I was listening to this one a podcast about the show 12 Monkeys, and they did like a full episode just on the movie, and then even more just on the concept of time travel. And I'm like, I'm never gonna put that much work into, but sci-fi fans in particular can be amongst the most dedicated fans to the genre.
True, but
so hearing the just me personally, like hearing them be like, oh, this guy's like, maybe it's just because what I actually miss is
the behind
audio
the scenes.
commentary.
Yeah,
like I'd rather see them do audio commentary over an episode than just hear scattered thoughts about an episode 10 years later.
Yeah, I think too, it depends on why you're listening to it, right? Are you listening to it to hear what the behind the scenes was? Or are you listening to it because you enjoyed the show and someone else did? I listened to hear behind the scenes, but if I wanted to listen to a podcast just about it, I'd find a different podcast after watching it.
There's also something that just in the back of my head every time I hear, and check out the official podcast for, and it's just like, oh,
started
get
with
the fuck away from me.
Walking Dead. It started with Talking
I'd rather
Dead.
them not. I'd rather it be after the show wraps.
Yeah, Talking Dead.
Yeah.
That was actually funny though. They had a great host. Like, that show was actually funny, and they were bringing on actors from the show to discuss. Like, when somebody got killed off on the show, they were on Talking Dead that night, and you got to see, oh yeah, this shit was crazy. I died. All this other, and it was like, okay, this is cool. I like this insight. You know, but
AfterBuzz TV was like a podcast platform like a decade ahead of its time, it was like Maria Menounos and her husband, and what they had is they had a whole like lineup of podcasts that were hosted by different talent that were not in the shows, but every once in a while they would have a guest appearance from the actor in there. That was at least mildly interesting, but it wasn't every episode. And the podcasts that I search out, it's usually from people that they podcast more than one show.
I think it depends on what you're looking for in a podcast. Ultimately, I don't think one is better than the other. It just depends on, it's subjective.
Yeah.
I listen because I want to hear about the lore behind the episodes, and because I want to hear the behind the scenes, what we didn't get to see as fans. Whereas I can see someone being a fan and you listen to it, like you've watched it. Don't reset the counter because he's not saying it, but the POI podcast that you listened to that you liked so much.
Technically, I can't. There's 2. There's only 1 left.
But I'm saying you really
the one that I
liked-
really love has been
that
gone,
one's
and I've
gone.
actually sent the guy who made it messages like, bro, can you like put
Brett's
these back
in his
up?
DMs.
why
Brett's
don't you
Brett's
just
stalking him.
divorce Olivia and go marry them if you
I
love
will.
it so much?
Honestly, yeah, I'm a little offended. Why don't you just, if you love it so much, why don't you go marry the podcast?
If it was still up
I'll
there,
officiate, okay? I'll officiate.
I would have missed the wedding because I'd have been listening to the old episodes. But I tried to get the host of the podcast to re-upload them. Like, imagine like,
Can you imagine
5
if PCC
seasons
went
of,
away and then someone was like,
there's
Brett,
1,000 episodes.
Brett, I need you to bring back PCC just for me.
Can you re-upload all the
Can you
episodes?
re-upload everything just for me for no money for another. I see someone saying I only watch Questacast, to be honest, which is funny because he found Questacast, Alex Cuesta, through me because I was on there, which I'm gonna be on there in a couple weeks again. I think I was just texting Alex about it. So you guys should go check out Alex Cuesta. He's awesome.
I don't know. For me, just the celebrity takes. Also, I tend to find that most celebrities are kind of insufferable. So
Again,
when they
yes.
end up talking about it, I'm just like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't want the. I like the ability to separate who they are as a person from their work. Like, I don't need to know what Cho is like in real life. I like just thinking of the character as the character.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Again, it's just one of those, what are you watching for? And again, I think that's the same thing with Bieber yesterday. Why are you going to that show? But I don't think either one's more right or wrong.
No. It's a matter. I mean, that's the kind of the great thing about podcasts is it's democratized the space, so you can go find it for whatever reason. Like you said, we were watching season 2 of Paradise, which of course we should finish at some point, which we never did.
We really
and
should.
after every episode, they'd advertise like the official podcast.
I do.
can't do
Yeah,
it.
that's again. I like.
I don't want your propaganda.
Yeah, get your scripted bullshit away from me,
Yeah.
dude. Like I want to watch a podcast where people are talking in real time about things that are going on, and they're speaking their minds, not like, all right, I'm going to read from this script that I've got, you know, from the 20 producers who put this show together.
Exactly. I like when it's like just like two people doing it.
It's better when the guy who's hosting is producing.
There was so in one of the podcasts that I listened to, it's one of the Arrow podcasts. One of the guys on the show, they must have done it over Zoom or something. And one of the guys has such bad static that I never noticed before now. But now when I listen to it, it's like when it goes back to this guy's mic, you can hear the static in it, and I have to turn it off. So it doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
My dad likes to live text me as if he's like chatting with us. He said he won't go to the movies because he doesn't like Hollywood.
Smart.
That's why him and my stepmom have never actually been to a movie together. Fun fact.
Do they watch movies at home?
I mean, yeah, but like they don't go to the movie theater together, and that has been the one thing she has said over the years is he's never taken me to a movie before, and he's like, I don't want to. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, go on, King, you tell her.
You know, honestly, we don't have to switch segments, do we?
Oh no.
I was gonna say, if we still got a second, I've never asked you, and I've always been curious to pick your brain about, and since we're kind of on the topic or getting away from, how do you feel about Jim Carrey? And his notions about how he's just been playing a character named himself for his entire life, and he actually
pretentious drivel.
You don't think he's serious about that?
I mean, maybe he's serious, but either way, it's pretentious drivel. Isn't that? He's the dude who was in the
Truman Show.
Not the Truman Show. He was the one in what was the other thing that he did?
Eternal Sunshine.
No.
Well, there's a lot of shit he did. He did Liar Liar. He did.
It's not that that I'm thinking of though. Who is the point is it's pretentious drivel and it's self-importance.
Now, I don't recall him ever being like that until after his girlfriend's death. And then it kind of almost seemed like he was unhinged. He got super depressed. He was, that's where he kind of started to let himself go a little bit. And when he kind of came back,
the Andy Kaufman movie, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Man on the Moon. Yeah, it's pretentious drivel. It's one of the worst sides of Hollywood is when they try to elevate the process. And this is coming from somebody who defends the fact that what they do is actually art, and it's not just people playing pretend, and it's not so simple. There's a lot that goes into it beyond just saying lines, but there is something unbelievably pretentious. It would be like if I sat here and was like, look, what we do here, we're not just talking about news articles. We're informing you about the ins and outs of Hollywood as an industry. These are the people that are shaping the thoughts and minds of young people and blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what we're doing.
I can agree with that.
We're just talking about stuff. If you find it interesting, it's interesting, I guess. If you don't, that's okay too. There was an article recently about an interview that Kristen Stewart did where she talked about how only men are method actors because acting is inherently embarrassing and they have to find a way to self-mythologize to make it seem less embarrassing.
I don't know about that.
I agree with her on that.
Really?
As a whole, yes, the act of acting is embarrassing.
It depends on
maybe
I
don't know. Maybe at first.
Like,
I don't feel like longevity-wise it stays like that, though.
I feel like the whole point of... You know how they talk about, like, when you enter the military, it's a certain form of, like, they train your brain to go towards danger because it's not human nature to go towards danger.
Right.
Acting school's whole point is to get you to turn off the embarrassing side of the profession. And to its credit, it has, to great effect, created unbelievable performances that move everybody. But when you watch something that's moving on a movie or a television show, you're seeing not just the actor on stage, or the actor, on stage. There's music, there's camera work, there is the performance, there's sound design, there's costume, there's 10,000 things that go to make
amounts
that
of production. Yeah,
but still, when that actor is on stage there, they have to learn to quell who they really are to encompass a role, and part of that is, at least, if not embarrassment, it's some form of like I don't know what the word for it would be. I guess it's not fraudulent, but you're portraying something that's not real, so it's perhaps a little bit
shameful.
I don't think shame is the word for it.
That's not the right word.
But it is a skill set. But I just think that when they brag about it in this like self-important way, I find that cringy. So
yeah,
when he does that, it's like that's like the worst type of art nerd that you can think of.
Do you think we got a clone back? Because I noticed he had kind of gone on this trolling tirade in Hollywood where he was fucking with people at the Oscars and things like that. He was just showing up to places he wasn't supposed to be in and doing that kind of shit. And
people know that's my biggest pet peeve, is not just that, it's the Bill Murray syndrome. LOL, so random. Look how quirky he is. Oh, he just got behind the bar and started serving people, which is just... Ugh.
That's Dan Aykroyd too.
Yeah, I can't really. So this is the Ghostbusters cast. Great guys, great movie.
I don't think really anybody can be respected for that other than Bill Murray, though. Like, I kind of am like, if it's Bill Murray, I'm like, yeah, do whatever the hell you want, dude. Like, Bill Murray's great.
That is a product of like late 90s pop culture propaganda that was like, we have to sell these people as a specific type of person, and somebody like Bill Murray has to sell himself as that guy because it goes into the characters that he played. Yeah, at least that's my opinion on it. All right, let's talk about something a little bit less deep but far more scary, ladies and gentlemen. That is the idea that anybody, let alone an adult, would take advice on medical issues from TikTok. There was a survey a couple of years ago that said like this is from 2 years ago, 50% of Gen Z are using TikTok for medical advice. Like 1 in 3 cited like TikTok as their main source of medical information. Now that's bad enough when you think about things being the problem, things the way they are in America with health insurance. But Brandi Glanville, reality TV stars in the news, she ended up in the ER with garlic stuck in her ear after taking medical advice from TikTok. Let's listen to this clip here so you can remember. Again, we were just talking about actors. This is why I don't really care about why actors or reality TV stars, what they think about on podcasts, because you get quotes like this. Let's listen to it here.
But it was Easter and I got a piece of garlic stuck in my ear, so because I had a little cold, Jake came over and he kept sneezing in my face, and I was like, he's like, I'm not sick anymore. And then cover your mouth when you sneeze. And then I got his cold, and then
aim for my
on
face.
Easter, I didn't do anything because of my garlic in my ear.
Oh.
I'm trying to get it out.
Can you imagine? So here's another reason why you never want to be one of the mainstream podcasts, because you can't be like, are you fucking insane?
Oh, do you know? I totally had garlic in my ear one time. I agree. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you relate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it get
she's
stuck in
right.
your-
No, it was just in there. Somebody was sneezing
happened?
on the back of my neck repeatedly on an airplane, so I just shoved some garlic in there and.
I literally can't tell if you're kidding or not. Maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
Let's
Maybe
finish
he
with-
did.
Let's put out a
It
poll.
really went down further, and I had to go to urgent care the next day and get it taken out.
So I was thinking about like, where does somebody like how do you scroll and find stuff like this? I found like a scripted version of this with like 30 different AI voices where almost the exact same one is done over and over again, so you can listen to what I'm talking about here.
Put garlic in your ear and see what happens. The result will surprise you.
Yes.
I'm sure
yes, it
this
will.
tip
Just remember, kids have phones. And some kids got congestion or worse,
garlic
like
and free reign for garlic.
be a complete novelty for you. But once you discover the reason behind it, I bet you'll want to try it immediately. After all, it's extremely simple to do and can bring incredible benefits. Garlic is one of the most popular ingredients in the world, widely used in cooking to
His
add
motions
flavor
are
to food.
obviously AI.
Yes.
However, what many people don't know is that it also has powerful properties that go far beyond the kitchen. And that's exactly what I'm going to reveal in this video. Before I tell you why you should...
There's just some dude in
Hang
India.
out for 20 more minutes.
There's just some dude in India writing this into a prompt.
Bro's
put
cracking
garlic
up.
in your ear. Let me show you some other incredible uses for this powerful ingredient.
You can put it in your
If you
ass.
struggle with acne, garlic can help eliminate it.
Rub garlic on your
Thanks to
face.
Like, is there like a big garlic industrial complex
Dude, there
I
might
don't
be.
know about?
There might be.
Is that what this is?
No, the entire reason that this exists is to create the situation that has already been created with this woman.
Yes.
This was the
Yes.
entire purpose of this, is to get stupid people to eat Tide Pods, to put garlic in their ears.
I forgot about
the Tide Pods.
I forgot about
You will
Tide
live in the
Pods.
Tide Pods. You will eat the garlic.
You will put the garlic in your
You
ear.
will put the garlic in your ear. That is what the whole purpose of this
To be
is.
fair, Brandi Glanville was the one who had a facial parasite because one of her breast implants ruptured.
Would you like? Would you? Okay,
Whoops.
sure, but like, who's letting her out in the house with the garlic then? Who's letting her have a phone then?
Well,
Like,
no, like, or
that
maybe
is
like somebody just
crazy.
hates her and like cut the
Also-
garlic up really small.
Also, I'm thinking about it. The way the guy like puts it in, it looks like you'd still very easily
Yeah,
be able to pop it
well,
out. So
yes.
did she just stick it like the long way?
She took diced
Did
garlic
she, like,
and like
long way into her ear.
I was gonna say that with the description that we just saw right there was not what she did. She had to go have it removed at urgent care, which means this
She
was
stuck
in
it
her head.
yes,
She put garlic in her brain.
She slept with garlic in her brain because she said I went the next day. So this woman slept.
that one just looks like an earbud.
That woman slept.
Yeah, those are the new AirPods.
It's
Those are
literally Brett.
2026 AirPod Pro.
The garlic smelling AirPods.
God, man,
Oh my gosh.
I can't handle the stupidity.
If I have to look at the stuff you guys do too, and this is what I'm talking about. So there was a time when I took this side of the job a little bit more seriously, and it's not to say that it's not true. It's what we were talking about in the last segment. These people do carry undue influence. Now, you could make the argument that this lady isn't affecting the new generation. Like, I don't imagine a lot of Gen Alphas care about Brandi Glanville or the reality TV stars
even really know who
of the
that is.
2000s
Yeah.
or the 2010s. But this type of advice is going around everywhere. Like I said, Gen Z is getting most of their medical advice, mainly because they probably can't afford to have health insurance, from TikTok. Have you
That's
ever
even
thought
worse
of
that
taking...
they can't afford health insurance and then stick garlic in their ear.
Like, I see this and I'm like, maybe universal healthcare isn't such a horrible idea.
Like, this is the best
Like,
case for
anything that's-
socialism I've ever heard in my life.
anything that stops the kids from putting garlic
And
into their
eating Tide
brain
Pods and like
might be the
dude,
reason.
like I don't know, man. This is why I could never work in like any kind of medical field, because I don't think I'd be able to keep a straight face if this woman walked in and said, with her like fake boobs, and walked in and was like, so I saw on TikTok you can put garlic in your ear and it's
Olivia,
gonna
this
help you
is
get
what
better."
natural selection looks like now.
Darwin
It's
was
a
right.
Darwin Award.
Yeah.
My chair just went down.
Yep.
Yep.
I kicked it.
You
it
lost
just went
about an
all the way
inch.
down.
But yeah, seriously. I mean,
I can't figure out when I see these stories whether it actually affects the culture, but it does. Like
No,
I
it
said,
does.
because people are seeing those videos. The video of the guy, the clearly AI video, doesn't get made unless there's an audience for it, and they get billions of views.
yeah,
for these
someone
types of
somewhere
things.
made money off of that.
Well, that's the worst part. And now YouTube is becoming more and more AI. Like, by the time it's all said and done, your YouTube algorithm will literally just be like TikTok dance videos and some dude from India typing in a prompt telling you to put garlic in your ear, and then all of Gen Z is going to
You know
listen to
what?
it.
Props to that guy for his creativity to like actually think, you know what? That's what we're gonna make today. Like, I would have never thought of that.
It just, I
Good
got
for
to
him.
think about it because like she's like a health risk waiting to happen. Because when they were talking about her, or like her issue with the implants, said I was shocked because they're implants that I've had for almost 20 years. They looked fine and they felt fine. The mammogram said they were fine. It wasn't until I had a sonogram. You really should change your breast implants every 10 years,
Holy
and I just
shit.
didn't do it. So imagine you get the disclaimer from your doctor and you don't actually pay attention and do anything about it.
I mean, now I've got this whole image in my head of an implant rupturing and what that looks like inside of the human body. And the only thing I can think of is like piercing like an over easy egg
Yeah.
and just watching the yolk.
Yeah.
As poison kind of drips into your veins.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fair.
I think medical, it's kind of like this is the same thing with financial advice and stuff right now, too. It's like the amount of people who are going online to get advice, like they're like, Gen Z's basically saying, like, I'm never going to retire, so I'm putting all my money into sports betting.
Well, I'm going to give some spot on valuable advice right now. Women with implants, just replace them with garlic.
There you go.
You're going to be fine. You won't need to replace it ever again. Just leave it in there.
He's right.
And if you ever get tired of them, just go to urgent care.
It is fair to point out that it's not like we ever believed, like even in society where actors carry little weight as far as how people actually think of them. Yes, it is true now that actors are kind of validated and loved by lots of people in the public. But still, the whole point of what I was talking about yesterday, or earlier, I'm sorry, was the idea that, you know, people like to denigrate what they do because they think less of them the way they used to. You know, the actor was the one who kind of performed like a puppet for the king. That was their job, right? They were not looked at as a celebrity. They were looked down upon.
The muse, yeah.
The average reality star is even lower on that totem pole than the average actor. In fact, the average actor would be put into movies and TV shows where they would make jokes about, like, what's this person's talent anyways? But still, these people have millions of followers online.
We have another 20 here from Shane H. Wilder. He said maybe she didn't have garlic and just got one of those Olive Garden's never-ending breadsticks. I have a friend who is a nurse, and they told me that these TikTok AIs are horrible. They had to remove a lemon from a woman's
hoo-ha.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she just blamed that on TikTok as a cop-out.
Yeah, like...
She definitely knew what she was doing.
She knew.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
See, that's just the easy excuse. Back in the day, it was like people getting into weird proclivities, and now there's like, oh...
Now you just
saw
do some
TikTok. A guy on TikTok. Look, he had a lab coat on.
It's a fucking note to excuse you from missing school the day before. Now, it was a TikTok thing. I don't know.
Trying to listen for the click.
Do you look at any doctors online? We both. I used to watch the Dr. Mike videos about the pit.
No, I do not watch.
I would watch the Dr. Mike videos where he would talk about how realistic each scene in a movie or a television show was.
No, I don't. I mean, those are kind of interesting. That was like when we talked to Angry Cops about how accurate police procedurals are. But no, I don't watch them.
Yeah.
I don't.
All right. But guys, don't get medical advice from TikTok, and definitely don't follow Brandy Glanville or any reality TV star if you're looking for
only
medical
take advice from Brandon.
And don't douche lemons.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
enough.
All right, cringe or cute of the day.
The cringe is really bad, so I want to get it out of the way. It's bad today.
Worse than yesterday?
Yeah. My father had words for me yesterday. Well, not words, but my dad did send me. If we have that post that my dad sent me, I posted it. My dad sent me one reaction.
Well, wait. Do we want to do that first, or do we want to do the
that
new
first
cringe
so that they
first?
can understand?
Okay. That the new how bad the cringe yesterday was.
Every time.
Good to see that you both dance. I do appreciate
Always.
that, guys.
Yes.
Your dad sent this.
He texted me this.
Yeah. He said next time you think of showing that cringe again.
Showing that.
Don't.
So instead I went with this. I warned him that he would have the same exact reaction today.
Here we go.
It's something.
Here we go.
You're gonna wanna there you go. Make sure everyone can see it.
If you're listening to this right now, there is a fat man with a Mickey ears and a nose on, and it says, "When the midnight food cravings hit." Be thankful, listeners of this podcast, that you don't have to see this.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh, he's got the puffy hands on too.
Cheese!
Okay, that's only funny because I thought he was actually choking to death.
Cheese is mine! Squeak, squeak!
Wait, is that shredded cheese?
That was
And
a
then a block of cheese.
block
Okay,
of cheddar.
Yeah,
I thought
shredded
those were
and a
like,
block.
I thought it was like huge pieces of macaroni.
No,
and
that was
cheese.
like
I
a
did too when I
half
first
block
saw
of
it.
sharp cheddar is what that was. You've never had one of these episodes at home?
I mean,
You just go through a cheese phase and you're
Never
just like,
put it
God damn it!
online?
And yeah, this is what happens. I don't run into the wall.
I think my new favorite thing on my new favorite Instagram skit is that it's world events, but you're fat, and it's a guy. And it's like when you watch 9/11 happen, but you're fat, and he goes like this, and then just pulls the shirt down.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad one. I'm so sorry, you guys.
It was great.
But I have to bring the worst of the cringe, and so
Your algorithm is fucked.
dude, this was like top 3 when I got on there, and I was like, I have so many now because my algorithm got so screwed.
All right, let's do cue to the day.
Yay!
It is Chloe's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in the chat right now, I can't see it because I have a different menu open. You should spam Chloe's if you are a PCC channel member because it is, in fact, Chloe's birthday today. She is 10.
She is 10. I got her when she was 3. So.
It says it's Chloe's birthday, so I'm submitting her for Cue to the Day. Chloe is 10 today, and I've had her for 7 years next month. Love the sassy girls so much. Happy birthday. I did take 2 of these four
Brett
photos.
really wanted to make sure he got his.
Yep, my photos in there. I took the butter one.
Producers need credit, man, especially when they're
Here's
playing
my
photographers.
One.
I love her. Guys, look how sweet she
Photo
is.
credit.
And then,
And then
Shane
there's 2 more.
shared. Shane
There
shared
were
this
2
one.
more.
We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
And then we've got this one. Her and her little
Butter.
house.
Yeah, she's in her little her biscuit factory. She's at work.
And then, of course, pure anger.
She was playing with yarn. That's
I mean,
not
she
anger.
looks like she's tweaking on PCP.
That's not anger. That is play.
Tweaking on PCC.
She is playing with yarn in that photo.
Wait, was that? She's
She's-
supposed to be an alien from another world? Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, I want to
That's
believe
the
it.
X
She's
Files
such a good
poster,
girl.
but with Chloe.
She's such a good girl, guys.
Mid attack, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
she's got some attitude
That's
problems.
primal ferocity right
Yes.
there. We're
Yep.
witnessing.
Now she loves Brett.
Oh.
So really it's Brett's day too, because she loves Brett. She is obsessed with Brett.
We've got gifts for her when we get home.
I mean, gifts is a strong word.
She gets special dinner tonight.
She gets basically a little extra. Well, I don't always give them catnip, so she gets some catnip, just her, and some extra treats that the other cats might not get.
All right.
Yeah, my dog used to get like whole rotisserie chickens
Damn.
and like steaks and shit on
Yeah,
his
she's
birthday.
gonna get like an extra like squeezy tube thing, like her own, instead of having to share it with the other 2. So.
Hell yeah.
All right, and it's sad because they'll never know what that actually means. They just think
I
one
don't
day
care.
they got lucky.
That's okay. That's all she needs to know.
All right, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. But again, as always, if you want to submit your pets for Q to the Day, there is a queue going on right now, but hashtag PCC Pets on X. Yes, it does have to be on X. That's where I curate all of it so you can submit it there. And if you are in the chat, please spam Chloe's in the chat. All right, let's talk about what's going on with Katy Perry, shall we?
Yeah, let's go ahead. So, Ruby Rose, who is an actress, has accused Katy Perry of sexual assault. Perry's reps have denied this claim, but the actress has said on Threads, of all places, that Katy Perry sexually assaulted her at a nightclub in Melbourne back in 2010, I believe.
Thank you for doing the accent.
Melbourne. It's not Melbourne, it's Melbourne. Rose was responding to a post that was published that covered Perry's reaction to Justin Bieber's headlining set on Coachella, which we talked about yesterday.
Yes.
Katy Perry sexually assaulted me at a Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. Who gives a shit what she thinks, is what Rose said. According to her, the alleged incident occurred when she was in her 20s. She responded to one fan who asked for details by writing, "She didn't kiss me. She saw me resting on my best friend's lap to avoid her and bent down, pulled her underwear to the side, and rubbed her disgusting hoo-ha on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. After I threw up on her.
Okay, so question for you guys. Does anybody feel bad for laughing right now?
I don't. I'm sorry. It's just the way she wrote it, right? Like, it's the way she wrote it. After it, I threw up on her, and I told the story publicly, but changed it to be a funny little drunk story because I didn't know how else to handle it.
Okay.
All right. She just
lost
openly admitted to falsifying the entire thing.
There's actually 3 other points in the story where she loses more and more people.
Oh, yeah.
But
So
continue.
later, she agreed to help me get my U.S. visa, so I kept it a secret. But I did tell y'all she wasn't a good person. She said she wasn't going to go to the cops, but today we woke up and found out. We saw this headline from, I believe, Dextero.
Yep.
Actress Ruby Rose says she can no longer publicly talk about her sexual assault case against Katy Perry.
Yep.
This is a standard request from the police. I can start the healing process now.
20 years later.
I can start now.
Now I can. This comes among other allegations against Katy Perry that have come out before. So one of them being Anna Kendrick made a joke. She says it was a joke, but again, it's hard to know these things. She could just be saying that.
Well, okay, so the problem here is that it doesn't really matter because people who don't care about the truth and only care about the narrative are going to frame it however they want.
We'll get into Ruby Rose
no,
in a
I'm saying that like anybody who has and we'll read what Anna Kendrick said, they're going to take it in the worst way possible, but go ahead.
Well, she said she had a weird night where Perry had touched her inappropriately. I don't want to read the full thing.
Yeah.
Not doing that, not getting clipped with that. She said it was a weird night on Conan in 2014. Another woman has responded to the thread posted by Ruby Rose, claiming that the same night she experienced something similar. She said that she took a photo with Katy Perry, who rested her hand on top of this girl's pubic bone during a photo, and later that night alleges Ruby Rose did confide in her about the events. Another thing that occurred was back in 2018 when Katy Perry infamously kissed an American Idol contestant without his consent. He had said he never kissed a girl. She then kissed him on the lips.
Well, he also said that he didn't want to kiss a girl until he was in a relationship.
He said he wanted
it to be important,
like, special.
and she's like, nope, and then went in.
And he thought she was going to kiss him on the cheek.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's like, I thought she was going to kiss me on the cheek, which was like fine or whatever. And then she kissed him on the lips. He said he did not think it was sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, like this poor kid is.
Well, it's I guess so there was articles and think pieces written about it, especially by like Pink News wrote and Out Magazine both wrote think pieces about it that were basically like, this is why Me Too matters, even though the kid himself said that he didn't view it that way.
They said the kid was Me Too'd when the kid said I was not Me Too'd. That's kind of what happened here. But a representative for Katy Perry has reacted to the claims in a statement, saying the allegations being circulated on social media by Ruby Rose about Katy Perry are not only categorically false, they are dangerous, reckless lies. Miss Rose has a well-documented history of making serious public allegations on social media against various individuals, claims that have been repeatedly denied by those names. So that's where we're going to get into that.
That's not an argument, really.
It's not, like, but it does show a pattern. It does show a pattern of behavior.
No, but I'm saying like the part about like, continue.
Right. So in 2021, Rose made claims that there were poor working conditions on the set of Batwoman. She left after one season. She posted a string of allegations on Instagram claiming abuse, neglect, and poor working conditions. Warner Brothers said they did not hire her for a second season after receiving several complaints about her behavior on set. The company described Rose's account as revisionist history aimed at the producers, cast, and crew that outwork in the studio. The truth is that Warner Brothers Television had decided not to exercise its option to engage Ruby for season 2 of Batwoman based on multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed and handled privately out of respect for all of those concerns.
So she had alleged that several people working on again, this stuff isn't Me Too stuff. Basically, she had said that several people working on the production had sustained serious injuries, including herself, a personal assistant, and a crew member who sustained third-degree burns. She acknowledged that she fought people on set, but said that it was because she wanted safety. She also accused her co-star, Dougray Scott, of yelling at women on set and hurting a female stunt double.
So everything that I just heard basically says that we can't trust her in any regard. And I mean, whether or not, Katy gave her the old cat on the bat, the old sludge budge, I have no idea. But the line of bullshit here seems to just be like, Ruby's got some issues.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I mean, look, like, I've always kind of thought Ruby Rose was kind of crazy based on the past kind of wild accusations that she made.
I guess there was also accusations against Nicki Minaj, and I had to make sure it was the same Ruby Rose, because there's also a rapper named Ruby Rose, and I was like, oh no, it's actually the same Ruby Rose. What she said was, I was in my early 20s, now I'm 40. It has taken almost 2 decades to say this publicly, though I am so grateful to have made it long enough to find my voice. It just shows how much of an impact trauma and sexual assault takes. Thank you for seeing me. And the thing I thought was crazy about it is like, so this has been building up for 20 years, and it was just like the sight of Katy Perry enjoying Justin Bieber in concert that was just like, that's it. It's too much
like
now.
That's what she responded to, like Katy Perry making some comment about, whatever it might be. And I don't know, look, this has come again. She's said things about Nicki Minaj. Basically, when this woman doesn't get her way, or she's upset about something, or feels that the money pool might be drying up, in my opinion, that's when she comes in and starts making these wild accusations. It's not the first time she's done that. By the way, this is a woman who describes herself as a non-binary lesbian. How does that make sense? If you're non-binary, how are you lesbian? because lesbian inherently means women that like women. So if you don't have woman or man, how do you make it make sense, right? Like a lot of what she says just doesn't check out to me.
Do you think any of this ends up hurting Katy Perry?
No.
Think it
Katy
goes away?
Perry.
Katy Perry can't.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can hurt Katy Perry any worse than Katy Perry has already hurt Katy Perry.
So I did see the story the other day where somebody's like, how did they go to space without Katy Perry for Artemis 2?
Yeah, true.
And also Katy Perry in general, like we've done several videos this year.
The nuns.
The nuns. There was the old guy. There was the fact that when she performs on stage, she looks really out of place these days. So it feels like you're kicking someone while they're down.
Well, yeah, and look, I'm not the biggest Katy Perry fan. She had some good bops back in the day, but like I'm not a big Katy Perry fan by any means. But I don't know if she actually did these things, and to kind of say that and then just kind of shy away. Now, does she get too close to other women sometimes, thinking she's like a girl's girl? I'm not saying this incident specifically, but maybe like the Anna Kendrick one. Yeah. Maybe sometimes she gets drunk, gets a little too close, thinking like, oh, we're like best friends, so I can just do this, which like. If another woman came up and just like put her fingers down my shirt, I would slap her. But point being, maybe she thought she had that friendship. We don't know her side, and that's with any of these situations. I need to know both sides of the story.
There was also the other story. You got the
which one?
The one that was just on X.
Oh, that's right. That was the one I said. There was another woman who said that this was accurate, and she was also there that night, saying she rested her hand on top of her pubic bone. So basically, like right over,
pubic bone.
Yeah, that's what she said. She very much said that. There was another one that was like this long-winded story about inviting her to like a dressing room. There was nothing that was inherently like, I mean, yeah, maybe a little weird, but again, it wasn't anything that was like inherently sexual in nature.
Let's focus on the point here. And that's after 16 tumultuous years having to deal with Katy Perry giving her the old coot scoot. Ruby Rose can finally heal. But she's not allowed to talk about it anymore. She's going to look like she's not talking about it anymore, but she actually is talking about it. She just can't talk about it.
Here's the thing, though. Like, she didn't want to file the police report. She just wanted to lay accusations at the feet of Katy Perry and then said she's not interested in filing a report about the incident.
And then
I'm guessing she got bullied into filing because they're like, look, if you're not willing to actually file the report, what do you want us to do?
Then you're blowing smoke and bullshit.
Yeah.
Like this is similar to the executives that don't want to make money thing that we were talking about a little while. Are you kidding me? You don't put out accusations as a means to not gain any traction.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Like
there is like a subset of person who just like they can't stop themselves from posting online, and sometimes that subset of person happens to be famous with a lot of followers.
Sure,
that's fair.
It makes sense, but like realistically, if you're just airing drama to air drama, you either A, want attention, or B, you're actually trying to whistleblow something.
If I was somebody important in the world, I would do nothing but shit post with vague posts all the time.
Vague posting is one of my favorite things to do, but I'm nobody, so no one cares.
That's the problem. Me and you got to become famous so that we can post like I would just post pictures of famous people and be like, everybody knows the real reason this person something, but nobody's ready to have that conversation.
And like no, yeah.
I did like a half vague post last week on X that was like, if you think the birth rate decline is bad now, wait till GTA 6 comes out. And it was kind of obvious what I was talking about. But there were people that were like, he didn't say like how long the birth decline was going to be in effect for, or what the actual cause of said birth decline was going to be. And I'm like,
it's not that serious.
GTA 6.
It's right there in the post.
I put it there. You just didn't see it.
I can't imagine this harming Katy Perry's career, but Katy Perry's career is kind of in this weird trajectory anyway. Where do you go from dating Justin Trudeau?
I
could have like done a whole video on like Justin Trudeau at Coachella in like a backwards hat, and I'm just like, is this
a wife beater?
Well, yeah, like they're like, is there a certain point where you kind of age out of that? Like once you've been prime minister, you're not allowed to wear a backwards hat anymore. Is that fair?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we should put a ban in place. Like if you
does anyone wear their hat backwards in Canada?
Apparently he does. What do you think they talk about?
I don't know, man.
What do you think, Justin? Do you think he talks about Canadian politics with her? Because she was like a Rick Caruso guy in California. You know, like low taxes, like Democrat, but maybe not insane Democrat. She was not a Karen Bass lady. So I wonder if they talk about tax policy.
I don't know what they talk about, but apparently, like, it was a cave. No, Justin Trudeau's one of their kids was like, they seem so happy together. I was like, I mean, okay, look, I would hope so, but it's kind of a random like non-story that became a story. It was like everywhere.
Well, anytime if you're like the kid of a famous person, you'll get at least one headline out of a podcast appearance you do.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. He's like, yeah, they're happy together. I'm like, that's it.
I see everybody going off about Trudeau wearing a blackface.
I mean, yeah, but that was like,
that was years ago.
2 decades ago.
I mean, so was this,
by their standard.
This little coochie poochie that she gave.
You can't file
Ruby.
charges for the blackface.
Yeah.
You can file charges apparently for the Ruby.
Sure,
Rose.
but you have to want to, apparently.
I mean, that would be the real funny thing if Katy Perry broke up with him and said it's because I found out he did blackface.
That would be hilarious, actually.
She's like, it's not because Justin Trudeau is inherently unmanly and was
Which
a horrible
but...
horrible at holding public office, but it's also because he did.
I'd just be like, whatever. You gave Ruby Rose a nub rub, so I don't care. All
right. Look, guys, there is one thing that is true in Hollywood, which is that there is a certain pipeline that is kind of foolproof within the industry. It's this pipeline where women who make it big in Hollywood when they're young then have this foolproof plan that they can put into effect years later when they write a tell-all book that ends up framing everybody, men especially, in a particularly negative light. And that's what's going on with Lena Dunham.
Yeah, so Lena Dunham has come out with her memoir called Fame Sick, where she has reflected on a lot of her career, including the show that she was on, Girls, and the complex relationship she had with her co-star, Adam Driver, both on and off the set. Things got off to a rocky start during the filming of season 1, with Dunham claiming her careful blocking went out the window when he hurled me this way and that way during one of their intimate scenes.
If you don't know what blocking is, it's how they set up a specific shot. So basically,
during like an intimate scene.
Any shot has blocking, but in this case, they're saying that they weren't staying within the framework of like how the shot was supposed to look.
Yeah.
He was just throwing her around. Also, like, this is going to be kind of out of pocket. This is going to be kind of out of pocket a little bit. But you look at pictures of Lena Dunham back then, and when you think of like where body positivity went in the early 2020s, she really wasn't that big comparatively speaking.
She was 24.
No, not really. No.
Yeah, she was 24 at the time of the story. She continued to say, stunned, I couldn't speak for a moment, unsure of what had happened. Had I lost directional authority?
Directorial authority. Remember, she was in charge of the show.
Directorial authority. Allowed the scene to go off the rails, not given proper instructions. Would I be removed from my command post immediately? It wasn't that I felt violated, and I also wouldn't know if I had, as there was little in my intimate life that I hadn't already allowed to happen. But I felt that something intimate, confusing, and primal had played out in a scenario I was meant to control.
So the issue here is that this was in the time before intimacy coordinators were a thing. And in a traditional Hollywood setting here, if she was to remember, she's not even, this is almost the most nefarious type of conversation, because she's not accusing him of anything actionable. She's basically just saying that he was a little bit more exuberant than perhaps the scene called for. And in a traditional Hollywood dynamic, she would right now be blaming the director for these problems. But since she was the one in charge, she technically has to blame herself. So she's somehow obfuscating responsibility, obfuscating the problem by taking the responsibility off herself by injecting her own weird form of self-doubt, which was like an internal monologue she was having, but leaving the details about Adam Driver in there to make you think that somehow what he did was vaguely sinister.
Well, she does go on to say something a bit more, I guess, heavier than that. She wrote that Driver walked out of the room after she showed him the pilot episode and didn't answer any of my calls for the next 3 weeks. And when he finally called Dunham, she was sure he was going to quit the show, but instead admitted that he rushed out because he does not like to watch himself on TV.
It's actually become like he's very well known in the industry, somebody who does not watch his own work.
I don't like when I do the
3 weeks.
3 weeks is crazy.
I can imagine like if so, because I don't watch anything that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've never watched a podcast appearance back.
Yeah.
When I clip this show, I do this when I'm on camera. But the point is like I can't just leave for 3 weeks though. That's real. That's a real type of privilege.
And I mean, it's not suggesting that he went completely off the map for 3 weeks. He just didn't text Dunham back. But like, I can't help but just envision him as Kylo Ren destroying like a circuit board with a lightsaber for 3 straight weeks because he saw himself. He's like, it's like Groundhog, like massive. Like saw myself, freaked out, destroyed it. Anything else? He's breathing heavily in his mask. That's the Adam Driver I want.
After Girls was picked up, Dunham's anxiety increased as she faced the pressures of running a TV show at just 24. When it is time to shoot the final episode, she reveals that she disassociated to deal with the stress. At work, I found it was hard to act or direct when I wasn't, in fact, a person. I wondered if everyone on set could tell that an alien had replaced me. We need to get Shane Cashman on here really quickly to get in on the conspiracy. She writes, I wondered if my scene partners could feel how barely human I was. She then recalls one instance where he grew frustrated with her for forgetting her lines, and during rehearsal alleges that he hurled a chair across the wall next to her.
I mean, heck yeah.
This is kind of what I was talking about earlier about actors and their processes, which is that there is this... I actually think that Hollywood loves this stuff. Yeah. I think they love the idea of the dedicated actor who will go to extraordinary lengths to deliver on a scene. And if that means that somebody gets bonked in the head by a folding chair, then they see it as just part of the process. Oh, you can't understand that? You're the unwashed masses who don't understand the importance of stupid multi-million-dollar corporate art.
Yeah. Well, she described the incident. She says, I remember doing a fight scene with Adam and how scary it was to meet someone so totally present with such absence. Late one night, as we practiced lines in my trailer, I found that mine were suddenly gone. I knew I'd written them. I'd known them only minutes before, but when I opened my mouth, all that came out was a stammer, until finally Adam screamed, effing say something, and hurled a chair at the wall next to me. Wake the F up, he told me. I'm sick of watching you just stare. After the incident, she said she didn't tell anyone, but said her lines correctly after that, and then said that they still felt like
what you're saying is it worked.
So it worked. So what you're telling us...
Exactly.
That's literally it. Said that they fought often. She said, I reasoned that the intensity of his anger at me, anger that could make him spit and throw things, was proportionate to the intensity of our creative connection.
See, that's the point there. So whether that's true or not, it doesn't matter, because how it will be framed when it's read in a tell-all book like this is to make him look bad.
Yeah.
Right? That is the most annoying thing in the world.
All
now.
it does is highlight all the awful parts of working with him.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is people wonder why, the Mike Pence rule, like you never go into a meeting without your wife because you don't want to come down with accusations, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an actor these days, imagine you kind of are taking a gamble that the person that you're working with isn't going to write a book in 20 years, taking every interaction you've ever had together and framing it in the most uncharitable way possible.
Yeah.
Like, I would never want to live like that.
It's defamatory, in my opinion.
Think so?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. Like, she all she's doing is reframing what happened in a negative spin.
And sure, she's not outright saying, like, hey, don't fucking hire this guy, you know? So, like, but there's a certain amount of defamation that's happening there. Like,
that's fair.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I can't imagine living in that world and wanting to work like that because, first of all, Hollywood is full of the most ambitious people in the world. They want success more than anything. If anybody watched Wonder Man and see just how...
Was it good? I haven't seen it yet.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I need to go back a bit.
But
I liked it.
The point is like it's a soul-crushing experience to be an actor. So once you find any level of stature, you'll do anything to keep it because it's such a slog and it's so difficult to find work in the industry. They're some of the most ambitious people on the planet. Right? And if what it takes to get back in the spotlight is to write your tell-all book that might frame somebody in a negative light, all the more power to it. And that's kind of highlighted today because of the gender dynamics in Hollywood being the way that they are.
Yeah, look, I just want to know the chair side of the story. Is the chair okay?
The chair's okay.
Okay, if the chair's okay, then look, no harm, no foul, right? We're good. Yeah. We are good to go.
Everybody's worried about the chair, but no one's talking about the wall that it hit.
Oh, shoot, you're right. I was trying to include the chair in the conversation. I forgot about
Insensitivity
the wall.
towards drywall, guys.
Yes, I'm wall phobic.
Some might actually put her comments earlier in the... If you don't know what an intimacy coordinator is, guys, an intimacy coordinator now is basically a second director whose job it is to make sure everybody feels comfortable and that the romantic scenes are highly coordinated and look exactly... Because they don't want to get sued. It's an extension of the HR department. One could make the argument that in this case that's what they're looking at here.
Right.
Is like that's why intimacy coordinators are
the guy that comes on set when everyone's naked and says, okay, you put your hand up on their hip and then you dip, we dip, and then that's...
I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yep.
Yep, there you go.
Those are the rules.
Them's the rules.
I didn't write them.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about TMZ. They are going to say, look, Trump couldn't save us.
But TMZ might, you guys.
TMZ might be the ones to save us.
My
TMZ
goodness.
DC.
TMZ has opened a branch in DC that they are literally calling TMZ in DC, which I kind of love that name, by the way. They did an inaugural post where they said, "It's our first day on Capitol Hill. Charlie, Jacob, and Jackson are psyched, ready to break stories and do some fun sheet in the intersection between politics and pop culture. So stay tuned." And they released a video.
Here, let's
that.
watch the video.
Yep.
Welcome, guys.
Hey, how are ya? It's been a great day. We loved
I mean, the fact that they gave an
How you
Aussie a
doing?
job in DC
Have a
is
great
just
day.
like we really haven't closed those borders,
No
have
offense,
we?
Katy.
DC. DC is growing to enjoy us.
It's full of wallabies.
So the House is not in session today. The Senate is. House comes back tomorrow. So what's the game plan for the first week?
So today, you're right. Senate is kind of in session. Well, they're about to have a vote pretty soon today. So that's why we've been looking at, I don't know if people are familiar with how DC works, but there's buildings where the senators all hang out in, and there's the buildings where all the House representatives hang out in. So now we've been hitting
I kind of like it turning into like Harvey Goes to Washington.
Am I the only one that wants to see Harvey do like an OxyClean commercial? I really think like he could totally pull it
off. They're going to
off.
have to kind of walk past us probably, or maybe they're going to use underground, and they're going to have to come and vote right over here in the Capitol. So today has been all about the Senate over this side over here of the frame, and tomorrow we're hitting up, the Rayburn, Cannon, Longworth, all the good ones over in the House area.
I actually realize I want to be a senator because it's the cushiest job ever. It's like no one goes to
said
work,
every senator
and,
ever.
like, they just had this massive 2-week vacation, and now they're coming in tonight to vote. Like, they didn't work all day today. And what I'm hearing is like people usually land, they get in their car, they get taken straight here, they vote, and then they go home and sleep. So it's like greatest job ever. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
We're going to be getting these cool videos that Charlie and Jacob shot a couple weeks ago, where we kind of show how pop culture and politics converge. But also, I just think lifestyle is really interesting.
So this all started during because they were out of session and they wouldn't because
People were going to different places. So, for example, we had I just lost his name in my head. Lindsey Graham going to.
But it's not just that;
Disney.
it's because like they couldn't vote on to get the TSA agents back, right? And the government shut. There's like a partial shutdown. So TMZ started going and seeing politicians at Disney World and being like, "Why aren't you doing your job?" That's probably what spawned this idea.
Yeah, you know what? And I love it. And there has been some really big moves happening. But first, we're going to talk about the biggest thing that they covered initially was the story about Lindsey Graham going to Disney. And I don't think we talked about this on the show. I can't remember. I don't think we did. So Lindsey Graham went to Disney World in Florida, and he had a little bubble machine, by the way. That's something. Now, there's a million explanations for why he was holding said bubble machine. I choose to believe that he wanted to feel like a pretty princess, and so he had a bubble machine. And that's okay. He can go to the little boutique and get his little pixie dust. But so cute. And he did the little spin and everything. So that's what he was doing on your taxpayer dime while they were not in session and they were on a recess while TSA workers were not getting their paychecks, and Trump had to send ICE in there to actually maintain control of the lines at the airports. But something more interesting has happened. And the first day that they announced they officially are live for TMZ in DC, there were 2 massive resignations from Congress yesterday.
I did like the framing from this post from Polymarket that said, like, just in, multiple Congress people projected to resign this week as TMZ opens DC office to expose scandals. They didn't expose these scandals, but they probably feel a lot less safe than they did before.
Well, they're not afraid to get in there and expose it. That's what they're scared of. So first, we had 2 of them in one day. Yesterday, Eric Swalwell from California, amid sexual assault, rape, and drug allegations, along with videos of him with an alleged hooker, has resigned, as well as Tony Gonzalez from Texas, who...
What did you say last night when we were on the way home? You said it's a good day to hate the people in Congress?
I said it's a good day to hate Congress. That's correct. Tony Gonzalez, after pressure from the public amid allegations that he had an affair with a staffer, who then took her own life through self-immolation, he then resigned. Now, this is the same person who, friend of the company, Brandon Herrera, was running against and actually ended up winning. that primary election. I'm loving this, but there are many people calling for this to be exposed, including former Congressman George Santos, who seems to kind of be leading the charge here for all these charges to be brought and exposing the crimes of those who are serving in our Congress right now. And I love that. George has taken accountability for his actions. So he's somebody I think that could speak on this, and they can't be like, this you, because he's like, yeah, and I owned it. What about it? He made a whole post about that last week.
We got a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, Harvey has a ton of connections in D.C. for years. I'm surprised he hadn't done this earlier. I've heard some of TMZ's more aggressive freelance paparazzi have moved to the district.
Yes.
This might be fun. Well, you know what it is?
We
They probably have to learn about what these people look like, because everybody knows what the celebrities look like, but they probably have to get like some pictures so that they can recognize the politicians.
Yeah,
there's
there's 535 people, open seats notwithstanding, that serve in Congress, and that's a lot of people to remember the faces of. But I think we should send Tate and Alad down there with them. They can shadow the TMZ guys, and then the stories can break as a Timcast Media Group.
I'll go.
Ex-TMZ.
I could bro up with these dudes. I could bro up with the TMZ
I mean, I'm
dudes.
tiny, and if I just re-up the pink, I'll look like a little liberal. I'll just go up and ask them questions so innocently. We'll get all the information. We'll get all the dirt. They'll trust me.
I wonder if they'll be in the Pentagon. That'll be interesting. They
TMZ,
have free media access.
I have long said TMZ has blind spots. Okay, they do have their biases,
Yes.
but far and away, I consider them a lot more accurate and willing to report on both sides than a lot of places.
Yeah.
I've seen them cover Dems.
Swalwell.
They covered Swalwell. I've seen them cover Dems. I've seen them cover Republicans. Yes, they do lean to the left. Yes, there was that incident with Charlie Kirk
That was
live
bad.
that they're
That was
never going to
very
live
bad,
down.
yeah.
That was very bad.
Yeah, that
But
was
in
not
general,
particularly good.
you're like
So bad.
if you go to the TMZ front page, first of all, they have covered politics for a long time. It's
Yeah.
never just pop culture news on the front of TMZ, but there has been stuff relating to politics on both sides, because I think deep down everybody's a little bit of a psychopath, and they're like, if the story's gnarly, we'll cover it for anybody.
I don't like TMZ for the most part. I think a lot of their tactics have been kind of gross, but that's because I think that half the time they use it on people that maybe aren't deserving of such gross tactics. Every member of Congress that needs to be exposed is so worthy of those tactics.
One of the things you have to have on your resume to work there is you have to be greasy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway. Like, you got to be greasy. You got to go get the story wherever the hell it is. You got to
And
find a
not
way to get
care.
it, no matter what. And you can't give a shit, because the greasier it is, the juicier it's going to be the public eye.
Yeah, you can't care about the families that you're hurting.
You can't
and
give
while
a
you're
shit.
doing it. That would be my hardest thing, would be like knowing I'm hurting a family, to go out and do that. But at the same time,
Well, in what way? Like, you're hurting a
But
family
as-
if a person did something wrong and you're reporting on something.
well,
that
that's what I'm saying is, as a
Celebrities
woman,
have families?
What? Politicians? Yeah, no. As a woman, I would want to know if I'm not saying my specific husband, but most women would want to know if their husband was out making out with hookers in their bed, allegedly. And
Wait, which one was this?
Alleged
Was it
hookers.
Swalwell?
allegedly doing this.
Was
This
this
is Swalwell.
And that's the least bad.
That's the least bad of all the allegations, right? I mean, we already knew about Fang Fang, but this is the least bad of all allegations that have come out. And so, again, I think that there needs to be more accountability among government officials. We've seen a lack of accountability by both sides, all government officials. No one really holds them accountable the way they try to hold celebrities accountable. And I think they're far more consequential to our actual lives than
Absolutely.
a celebrity.
Yeah.
I was like, what does it matter anyways? These people do awful stuff. They vote terribly, and then they end up getting reelected, especially the local politicians, right? They never.
But
it
you
doesn't feel like
really
they ever
got to get in there and put that out there. I mean, some people just don't realize the scope of it because you don't have a TMZ going out there and exposing all of this. I'm not saying it's going to change overnight or even in the next few years, but I do think that having two big members of Congress drop on your first day on the job, that's pretty good track record, and that's just what they already had. There's more that they can get from being on the ground.
There's some fires that need to be lit under some asses in Washington.
For sure.
It's been a long time coming. And there are people in Washington that are doing this stuff that want to see this kind of shit happening right now, which is cool. It's very, very small numbers, but
Yeah.
there are people that want to see this get cleaned up so that they can further advance and actually do their jobs, because they're trying to out there, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's also a natural byproduct. What was it? The 20 from Pop Culture Junkie says he was surprised that Harvey Levin hadn't done this before. But it makes sense because Trump turned politics into a spectator sport.
Into a
that's
prime
akin,
time show, yeah.
So maybe it's more, the more puzzling thing is that it didn't happen before his second term. But if Trump had never been elected to office, this never would have happened because it wouldn't have been turned into the type of spectacle that we see from politics now.
Yep. DC would be boring right now.
And I see people in the chat being like, what? So you're saying the Kirk video is alleged, or it's evidence, and the Swalwell video is alleged? I'm saying there is an alleged hooker in said video because Swalwell has not admitted he's categorically denied everything.
And he didn't.
He's denied everything.
And he didn't resign yet today.
Right, and TMZ did admit and own up for how bad it was. They still said that happened. They admitted to that, right?
It's not to say that TMZ isn't slimy. It's to say that the people in DC are slimy too. So they kind of all
also protecting the
deserve
company and making sure I just say allegedly for everything.
But
right?
Also like resignations are a huge thing, man.
Yeah,
like when
huge.
you know there's no way out, your lawyers will advise you get the hell out now, and that's pretty much like a silent admission of guilt.
Especially in Congress.
So not seeing that kind of, like possibility still there that it
Swalwell
could happen.
still said that they're so false, but he's still sorry and he's resigning from his job. So I take that with a grain of salt. But that's what he said. He said these are false. It's not happening. But I'm also resigning and I'm sorry.
I don't trust that though.
I've also seen this. This is inspired, at least on X, a certain bipartisan version of this where people are like, yeah, they should hold Congress accountable. And it shouldn't be about holding the left or the right accountable.
Everybody.
It should be about holding all of them accountable.
That's the beauty of this. Before we get to this 20 here, we have Swalwell, who's a Democrat, and Gonzalez, who's a Republican. It already happened on both sides. It's great. We have a 20 here, though, like I said, from Pop Culture Junkie, who said, TMZ has a reputation for spreading money among bouncers, limo drivers, waiters, etc. for story dirt. Given DC's penchant for bribery, I can imagine the news dirt budget is even larger for the district.
Yeah, think about, they got the video of Diddy, like, with Cassie in the hotel lobby, like, 10 years after the fact. Like they have their palms, they have their money greasing the palms of people all over LA. So the idea that they would be able to do it in DC is very, very believable, especially since most of the people out there are out to get theirs. And the dude who works at the local gay bar or the dude who works at the local restaurant,
the gay bars are where they're really going to be putting their budget. Yeah.
Because the gay bars and the pizza
or people
places,
on Grindr.
The gay bars and the pizza places is how you track behavior in DC.
If I was a dude, I'd go undercover for them on Grindr.
The old pizza index.
Yeah, the pizza index is the same as like the reported traffic at gay bars in DC. That's how you know how busy things are at the Pentagon
for a pizza day. I would really love to be there for a pizza day. That would be cool. I want to see how many come in. There are a lot of people at the Pentagon.
All right, guys, let's go to super chats and then we're gonna hang out here. I for one, look. DC is slimy. TMZ in a lot of ways is slimy.
They're made for each
Doesn't
other.
shock me at all, and they're kind of made for each other.
TMZ, DC, the secret of the ooze. Yeah, dude, let's go.
Heck yeah, that could be a TV show. Let's go.
All right, let me go back up to the top here. All right, from Shane H. Wilder. Happy Taco Tuesday, Dasovix and Brandon. I promised a meme over Olivia's cringe, and a meme over Olivia's cringe you have received. I saw it this morning.
I saw it. Yeah, thanks. That's like my father said, don't.
Yes, just don't.
There's more of that guy, by the way, if anyone's interested.
No.
I know Tate was. Brett's like, no.
I don't search out that type of debaucherous,
I haven't either,
degenerate
but here it
content
is.
on the
Look, bros, you know what? I thought you said like make that bag, like get that bag, King, and that should be exactly what
That's
you're
fine,
saying
but I'm
now.
saying I'm not seeking out the
I'm gonna help him
debaucherous,
get that bag.
degenerate bag getting content.
What's so degenerate about putting a Snickers bar and watermelon and
you don't want to say the
hot
word.
dogs on your
It's
face?
not a hot dog. It hasn't been cooked yet. What is it?
A wiener.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
An uncooked wiener.
There you go. Burned Oil says, this rose is for you, Moon. We miss you dearly.
Yeah, our friend Moon at Noon. Bro, if you're listening to this after the fact, can you comment or something? Because Chad and I, we're all a little worried about you, dude. Like, bro was in here every single day. And he's kind of been, he's been missing. I know he's a little bit older. So just, Moon, if you hear this, send us a bat signal. We're worried about you, buddy.
All right. All right. Shane H. Wilder says, okay, Olivia, we see what you did on the PTZ. Bad, Olivia, bad. Tisk, tisk.
I did it.
I'm not, was it the Kermit picture? What is this show devolved into with your degenerate content that's everywhere? First,
Look,
it's Snickers and Wiener Man. And now
watermelon Snickers wiener, man. Get it right.
I forgot he had the watermelon.
The watermelon too.
It was horrible.
My eyebrow quirked at watermelon and then just completely went down in disgust after hot dog. So
Yes.
You mean wiener?
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, sure. Harvey Keitel. Call it a Keitel. I don't care.
Shane H. Wilder says they shot abroad. Damn, this DEI in Hollywood.
Industry's tough out there.
Don't want to do it.
Sometimes you just gotta pop a bro.
Shane H. Wilder says Ben forgot. Never go full tard.
Never go full tard, Ben
Oh, you never
Stiller.
go full retard.
T-Bone says, Ayo, Brando in the house.
What up, T-Bone?
What are you guys working on Boonies right now?
Aside from podcast, I mean, we've
Like, what's the latest episode about?
there's been a lot of
You should
a lot of
elevator.
topography.
You should elevator
Lot of
pitch
yelling.
the most recent episode.
So we're Cody's going out of town for a couple of weeks, so we've actually did some pre-records that are going to be airing over the course of like the next 2 weeks. So I have to look and see what's premiering tonight to know where the hell we're at, because I think we have one. What is it, Tuesday? No, so we should have. I think we have one premiering tomorrow, one on Friday. But the last few shows have just basically very heavily on skateboard culture. A lot of me and Richie Jackson talking just endless shit to each other, which is fun.
I believe that.
A lot of banter. I think Richie threw a plastic bottle at Andy and hit him in the face at the end of last show. That was pretty funny, but I don't know if we got it on tape.
I want
to say we had Tim just radar the YouTube here. Tim Cast and their viewers just joined. Hello, everybody.
What up, T-Cast?
Welcome.
But that's me. I posted that.
Oh.
I posted that.
Why'd you post
Yeah, I was gonna say who rated who?
Because the indoor farmer rated us on Rumble, and I just I just thanked him.
Hello.
I was gonna say, how the hell
Thank
are
you
they
for that.
rating us at 4:30?
But did I see
Like a segment?
I saw one of your guys's like sheets for episodes. Did you guys have like a wide angle, like a fisheye versus long lens discussion? Or was that like a perspective idea?
It's probably come up that now. There's a couple episodes that I haven't done because we had that insane sickness that me and you went through where we were off for
that was so bad.
solid like 2 weeks.
There
It
was a comment.
horrible.
There was a comment yesterday that said, "What is Brett okay?" It's like, no, I'm still not okay. I'm still coughing all the time.
Yeah.
Working on it.
But I would have loved to seen a discussion talking about kind of the positives and the negatives of shooting long lens versus shooting fisheye.
Yeah.
in skateboarding.
We've dabbled into it a little bit. I know
It's
I've
kind of
I've conversed. Yeah, I've conversed how like long lens kind of can make an obstacle look absolutely massive, you know, and seeing, you know, not being like a pro skater, seeing a bunch of, you know, different spots, you know, or pro extreme athlete, whatever, seeing a bunch of famous, huge spots that you're just like, man, I want to go there one day. This looks massive. Holy shit, you know, and then you get there and it actually looks smaller.
Most of
you know?
California is like that.
Really?
At least most rails in California. That was the beauty of it. Like anytime I went to California, I was like, my gosh, they had it made out here. All the rails are like barely above like thigh height and stuff like that. But the point is like you sacrifice size like of spot for movement with fisheye. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Is that it allows you to move with them depending on whether, you know, you're doing static
And
or
that like
lines.
low angle kind of chase cam looks good too, you know, especially like it ties in with inline too. I feel like you guys have a very similar where like you can have that kind of follow angle, but that low angle wide on the board just makes everything just look massive. You know, a
But once
2 foot
you've
curve
been
looks
in
massive, you know.
Once you've been in the sport, you learn to spot how it distorts the spot in a lot of ways. T-Bone says, loving the constant skateboard podcast episodes. I think you may need some scooter videos to contrast the skateboarding ones.
We actually had like a scooter episode, T-Bone. If you didn't see, there was a lot of scooting happening
scooter
in one of
kids
those
are the-
episodes.
Out of all the industries, the scooter kids are the ones pushing their sport the farthest, feels like these days.
Yep.
Corey Anderson says, I, for one, welcome our AI entertainment overlords. I don't.
I don't.
I'm not going to lie, I don't.
Piss off, overlords.
Yeah.
Tell them.
T-Bone says, my bestie OC in the house.
Hello, T-Bone. I was very offended. I was like, wow, I get my bestie, oh my gosh, every day. Brando shows up, I get nothing.
Not that Jon Stewart says, no one likes to see mom and dad fight. Again, I don't think if you thought
I was having a pretty good time.
If you thought two people discussing the merits of a Justin Bieber performance is fighting, you've never seen a fight.
Have you ever, like, clearly you're not.
Your parents
yeah.
never fought, and it hurt you as a child to
The
never see
irony
them
being that, like, we literally just walk away. Like, everything that happens on the show is not like.
As soon as we got
R-rated.
done, I was like, well, I was going to buy her Sabrina Carpenter tickets, but not now.
Good. Don't waste money on it. Hello.
So I watched more of the performance last night, and I was kind of enthralled by the idea of listening to like secondary comments while searching functions on YouTube and the massive response from the people there,
Again,
which I found it creatively
It's subjective.
inspiring.
It's subjective.
And I guess the point that one of the things I was trying to make yesterday and I never got around to making it was like, I've actually found that the days where this show feels like it's going the best is not when we're rigidly on form with the topics, which is a side effect of the show, meaning like when we have to clip this show, right? I need to know how long each segment is. I've got visual cues based on the screen that we're in, like I'm doing right now, that tells me to and timestamps and stuff like this. But when this show feels like it's most engaging is on a day where we're in the super chats and I'm looking up something online because I want to show everybody something, because it's no longer about the format. It's about
the conversation.
It's the conversation. It's engaging. And I guess I was kind of drawing it as kind of akin to somebody, making it a more intimate performance there. Not to say that people don't go for spectacle when it comes to their own types of shows, but just everybody has a different idea as to what works for them. Hence the reason we had a whole discussion earlier about the type of entertainment podcasts that we listen to.
Right.
All right. Corey Anderson says people go to Coachella to post on the internet. They don't go for the music.
I think that's 50-50. I think the influencers go for the pictures and the content, and they just stay because there is music. But yeah, I would agree.
It's a win-win for them, honestly. Like if they actually do like doing that, which a lot of these people do, it's just become a win-win scenario now to be at Coachella and just be showing off about it. You don't even need to physically go to Coachella. You and two of your homegirls can get all dressed up and snazzy in your house and say Coachella Day 2 and never actually leave the house.
Just
and
green screen it.
A million hits. Yeah.
So there's a whole Instagram meta of people wearing ridiculous outfits, pretending like it's a Coachella outfit because they wear the most ridiculous things there. I did also see a video of like an influencer like get ready with me to go to Coachella. And she posts these videos every year. And this year she's like, we weren't going to go. And then I just happened to get tickets like right before. I'm like,
sure you did. Sure did.
I don't know if I believe that, but okay.
Coachella tickets just fell in my lap. Anybody free today?
Right.
Greg Duvier says, put a Colonel Kurtz on. Eventually in the future, Colonel Kurtz is really busy right now. She's got other stuff going on, so she has not been able to do the Tuesday shows. But as soon as she is able to again, we will be bringing her
put
back.
Me back on the bench.
On the bench. Well, no, because it'd be there for the Thursday shows.
We have we have a 20 here from Based G-Nels. What's up, my guy? He said, long live Dadasevix. G-Nels, love you, dude. Yep. He's great. He's in the Discord. He is.
Dadasevix.
I don't play favorites, but if I did.
But if you did.
But if I did, G-Nels is up there.
Shane H. Wilder says, fine, Brett, I'll let you borrow my Person of Interest DVD box set so you can watch the commentary. Not even a joke. I own the box.
We don't have a DVD player.
We don't have a DVD player.
I think we should get one. We've been, we've driven past some.
Do you have an Xbox or a PlayStation?
No. I have a DVD player and two VHS players at home in storage.
We got to get them.
Do you have a CD-ROM in your computer?
We don't have a desktop computer.
We just have our laptops right now. Eventually, we will get like an actual. Yeah. But
I haven't watched a DVD, and laptops don't have.
I was like, some of them still do.
Don't do anymore.
Some of them still do, but like for the most part, you don't need this shit anymore.
I love looking at
I had to actually check mine.
The
I was
picture
like,
of the old MacBook when it has like the two FireWire ports. It says this is what they took from us.
Yeah,
it's like
never forget.
Like 2 USBs, a USB-C, a FireWire. I guess the FireWire and USB-C probably didn't go together.
Yeah.
But I love that everything has gone to C because it is the way that it's needed to be for a long time, and now we're finally getting to a level playing field across devices now.
You have some products that need it, some products that don't. You're like in that in between, still upgrading stuff. So it's like
it's capitalism. We're going to
it
invent
goes.
something that is absolutely pointless, but you need it.
Didn't the EU mandate that Apple use the USB-C there years ago, and they just never brought it to America?
I honestly don't know because they did the whole Lightning shit for.
But I'm saying because now iPhones use USB-C, right? Mm-hmm. But before they only made USB-C for Apple for the European.
This is and I just my 17's coming tomorrow. This is a
Phil
14
here.
Pro
I
Max.
just got a 17 and it has the C.
Yeah, 14 Pro Max was the last model, I believe, to have, or 14 Pro period. 14 was the last one to have a Lightning, and I think at 15 is where they went up to
I think
C's.
so. Yep.
All right. Got a couple more here. B Mauser, $10, and she says, #1 fan. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a 20 here from the Manic Mustache.
I call him the Manic Mustache.
Mustache. I'm so sorry.
The mustachioed one.
The mustache. Late as usual, but apropos to my most recent hospital visit. If your wife asks her husband to dress up like Justin Bieber, should he be worried? Asking for my friend, say toxic, my friend.
No, it's perfectly
Also, what do you mean
normal.
your wife and her husband?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Maybe he meant like his wife's boyfriend.
That's what I'm talking about. Like what?
You know what? Totally normal to dress
Good to
up
see
like
you though,
Justin
dude.
Bieber.
It's been a minute. Good to see you.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, this was after the cringe of the day, says, damn it, Olivia, somebody check her search history.
It's going to say cringe and then probably like recipes. Like all I searched was cringe and then
Cringe and recipes.
All you have to do
you
is
ever
find,
search cringe recipes?
I don't. All you have to do is find one and then that's how your algorithm starts to get messed up. You send it one time to somebody. So like I'll send it to Brett to make sure I
It's
bookmark
true
it or I
of
bookmark
X.
it or whatever. That's what happens.
Like if you bookmark anything on X,
You
it
interact with a
decides
single-
that is now your favorite thing
Dude,
on
so
planet
much
Earth.
Sabrina Carpenter has
Yeah.
been on my feed for the last 2 days because I was saving the videos and
So
stuff.
what I've noticed is like my X algorithm, at least on the For You page side of things, that's what it is, right? It's like what are the two sides? It's For You.
For You and following.
Okay, so my For You side gets decimated on Sundays, but because I've spent Saturday and Sunday bookmarking things for the show on Monday. So usually I've looked, whatever the first thing that I bookmark is, ends up becoming my entire algorithm for the whole week.
I hate how quick algo kicks. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like I get tricked into content that I'm viewing now because I can just be scrolling, mindlessly scrolling, something pops up. If I stop for even one split second, the algo's like, gotcha, bitch. And it's like,
Yeah.
and now
You're like,
I've
what?
got 2 weeks of shit to go
Like
through
you literally,
now.
you're going and then you like scratch your face.
Yeah, and
just
I'm like,
for a
what the hell
second.
is that? Like,
Yeah.
or if I even have to remotely go back because I thought I saw something, oh, never mind. Now I'm going to see that for the
You're
next 2
screwed,
weeks.
Yep.
I do like the idea of the function where it's like the last thing you saw function, where it's like, because every once in a while you open X and then you see a good post and then it refreshes.
Yes,
where it saves
I hate
the last
that. Or you accidentally hit like the top of it, so it goes all the way back up, and you're like, yeah.
That is mildly annoying. When I'm actually looking at something and then it vanishes, like because I come back to my
So
phone and
annoying.
open it up and it's like, oh, we're gonna refresh your feed. It's like, no, I left it off there for a reason. Thanks. Jerks.
All right, we got some more here. Chief Corey Anderson says, my dogs get steak whenever I cook steak.
Look,
Your dog deserves a steak.
when
every
I
now
get
and then.
McDonald's chicken nuggets, Mocha gets some chicken nugget as well.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Dogs are
Shane-
carnivores. They crave meat. They have sharp teeth. Give them blood.
Shane H. Wilder says, don't talk about someone hurting a chair with chair in the room.
Yeah, I know. I
he's
felt
a
bad.
sensitive soul, and he's been through a lot.
That's why I asked about the chair. That's why I asked.
Chair's okay.
For chair.
I wonder if he's ever been thrown into that wall.
I hope not.
No, but so the other we were here on Sunday, and I was upstairs in the main building, and they got like new chairs, and I sat down and realized just how bad this chair that I've had for 5 years is now, because I was like, oh my gosh, there's back support.
Changed your life.
It changed my life.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. I almost ordered.
You were
one.
loving that.
It wasn't even like a really nice one. It was like I
It was
went
one of
and
it was one of the older ones.
No,
too.
no, it was one of the newer ones. But I'm
Was
saying
it?
I went and found it on Amazon, and it was like, I mean, it was expensive,
But it
was
wasn't, like,
not.
that
It was like
expensive.
$150. It's not like
My razor chair was like $500.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like chair price wise, it didn't look that
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it would probably more be that it would break down faster.
Yeah,
than,
I used to live in that like. Oh shit!
I do appreciate that, guys.
Thank
you
you.
for dancing.
It always gets me.
Totally destroyed my
Always
train of
gets
thought.
me. That's all right.
All right.
Wasn't that important anyway?
High Voltage 75 says, Olivia, you've been doing a great job as Brett's co-host. Mary who?
Mary Morgan, who is
Mary-
still the co-host of this show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yep. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and she will be back tomorrow.
She just had one day off, and you guys are like,
I know,
she's gone.
The thing is like people. I mean, maybe it is true though that like people who watch podcasts are creatures of habit. Like I know for a fact.
I know, but like we made it very clear
that I listen to. Like I try to listen to them the day they come out, or at least start them the day they come out.
We made it very clear that it was just that she was out of town for a day.
And you'll have to make it very clear every single day that it happens.
I know.
Because everybody's gonna be like, oh, did Mary die? Is she not
did
here?
Mary leave? Yeah.
Did Ghost Girl die?
And it won't matter because then the other people will look at the segments where it's not mentioned at all and say it there as well.
Yep.
High Voltage 75. No, I did that one. Sorry. High Voltage 75 again. Brando. He's got what plants crave.
It's an old throwback inverted world joke. They used to call me Brondo on there with a W.
Wait, why?
And it was just Brondo. It's what plants crave. It's like a whole thing, like Brawny, Bounty, the whole like kind of like
the
it was.
Quicker picker up.
It's supposed to make me sound like a cleaning product, I guess. I don't know. And I guess you put me on plants.
Okay.
Oh, kind of like glyphosate.
Yeah.
That's what the people crave.
Miracle Bro.
Yeah.
Miracle Bro.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Pop Culture Junkie. Just checked, TMZ has been already making it aware they're paying money for dirt. Some staff at political hotspot Cafe Milana in Georgetown have already been approached. Let the palm greasing begin.
Go.
Greasy, greasy, greasy.
Love that.
Love it.
Juicy, juicy.
Let's go.
Like, you know, like that's why you go to work there, right? You go there to get Harvey Levin's like cohorts to offer you money.
Yeah.
All right, Shane H. Wilder says cringe recipes is how we get cringe of the day.
The cringe recipe is my algorithm. And guys, I'm too scared to open my Instagram algorithm at this point.
What type of recipes? Wait, do you find recipes on Instagram?
Well, I'm just saying generally, so check her internet history. So I'm just saying my general internet history would be, you know, like recipes. I mean, there's some recipe videos I've seen there that I've saved, but I've been looking a lot because I have an allergy to milk. And so I can have it in small doses. It doesn't like kill me, but if I have too much, it's not fun for me. So and it's not lactose intolerance. I've tried everything, but I've been looking up, you know, kind of like alternatives or good meals that don't require dairy to begin with to just avoid it. So I don't have to get the stupid alternative. I can just, you know. Yeah.
In the chat, I saw ND Will says, has it really been 5 years of PCC? No, technically not. It would be
4 years and some months.
We
right?
started live in 2022, but the channel was officially created at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
But not 5 years, but I rounded up.
But you've been with the company for almost 5 years.
Yes.
This year.
Greg Duvier says, can we go back to just cute on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
No.
Mary tortures us enough with
No,
cringe.
look, I've watched Mary's Cringe, and I'm sorry. Some of it is really bad, but it's not every day. She doesn't bring the same peak level of cringe that I do every day. I have a standard to uphold. She kind of varies.
You consider
like,
yourself a connoisseur of
I
cringe.
do. That is, yeah. Someone said she had a milk allergy, and I'm thinking, how do you milk an allergy?
The thing about it is there's only really one type of cringe that bothers me, and that's
the singing.
It's bad singing cringe. It's bad. And it's not even bad singing cringe. It's bad live singing cringe. When somebody, like when people show you bad versions of the national anthem, I'm like, why would you do that to me?
Ian lost his mind in the middle of TP USA and started singing like.
Oh no!
Wait, what?
I can't remember what the hell it was. We were in Phoenix last year at TP USA for like a week. We were doing Timcast shows there. And I remember we were sitting in the studio, and mind you, like all the TP USA employees are still like here working on the side. Like we're like in this like work area where all these nice Christian ladies and everything, you know, like they thought like Creed was sinful. Like Tim was playing Creed and they were like doing this and hissing, but like little do they know that Creed is actually Christian music.
What?
So there's that whole thing. Or it was System of a Down actually. It was
so
there was
weird.
Chop Suey and they were like, but I'm like it was actually written about the Bible.
Like, the sound was a little bit intense for them. Maybe.
Yeah, it probably was. They thought it was metal. Whatever. I kid the TP USA girls. They're all great. But yeah, in the middle of something was on like Stone Temple Pilots or Pearl Jam or something was playing, or actually it might have been Gavin Rosdale. I think it was Gavin Rosdale, and he just started like screaming the lyrics like at the top of his lungs in the middle of the studio, and I was just kind of like,
yeah,
like go Ian, but did you why here?
Was Gavin Rosdale the one that was married to?
Yeah. Gwen
Stefani.
Yeah, Bush.
He has like an acting career too. You know that?
Yeah, he's not quite Leto, but he was like.
He did an episode of Criminal Minds. It was like the one time he had like a rule where he wouldn't play musicians on TV because he's like again
if I want to be a musician, I just be a musician.
Artist where he's like, nah, I can't do that. I'm actually a musician. But he did an episode of Criminal Minds where he plays like a goth rocker, and people start dying looking like they've been killed by a vampire. It ends up being this ridiculous episode. But he also was in a random episode of Burn Notice as an arms dealer that knew Fiona. And I was just like, he had the slick back hair, looked exactly like you'd expect him to. Not exactly like the greatest work in the world, but the performance didn't require it.
Just giving the Gavin, yeah.
All right. Shane H. Weiler says, maybe the real Mary was the friends we made along the way. I'm sorry, I was trying to make a joke, but I got nothing.
Maybe.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't have jokes ever. Shane H. Wilder says, Brandon, quit putting your hand in Brett's shot. Yes, that does happen.
He's going to do it even more
also, the thing about
I can't even make it happen on purpose right now. What's going on? Where is
the
it?
hand isn't that bad. It's actually
shot,
that usually it's your hat brim that comes into my shot.
Where is this can? Okay.
It's that one, yeah. Like
You're kind of
so
in.
people can't tell, but because of the position of our AC, like of the AC like wall control,
I hate working around
I
those.
couldn't move the camera over more. It actually would have made way more sense closer to the outpost there.
Yep.
But we couldn't move it over anymore because there was stuff
we had
behind
that
the wall.
in Inverted World too. It was the camera placement was insane in there.
Oh my goodness.
So was the lighting.
So difficult
so hard
to
being
be
us.
a podcaster.
Yeah, but so try being an influencer for a day.
Exactly.
Try it.
They wouldn't be able to. All right.
Thought we had one or two more.
No, I think that's all of them.
You sure?
Yeah,
It could just be tardy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I missed one here from Burned Oils. Says, Brett, can you explain how PCC came about in general? Yes.
It's like Spark Note it.
When I got hired, I was doing like second camera work with Nick when he worked here on the vlog, and there wasn't enough work to be done at that time for me, and so I kind of felt like I kind of hated that I would get up and not have enough to do, and so I was looking for more work to be done because let's face it, like it's kind of cool. I suppose it's kind of cool if you have no work ethic to have a job where you can just kind of wake up and maybe you have something to do, maybe you don't. But realistically, when things go wrong, that means you're the first person to go. If people have to be let go. So I was looking for more stuff to do, and we were like out at the casino one night, which was always hilarious because I don't gamble, so I would just kind of come and roam around the casino and look at the sea of humanity. And I was bitching or telling some anecdote about the X-Files, some type of what would the trivia stuff going on.
Yeah.
And Tim suggested doing a show on pop culture. I think they actually got the name that night and bought the website or whatever, and all sitting there at the restaurant
very
at the
Tim
casino.
to just be like, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah. And then from there, we just kind of workshop what the idea for it would be. Mary came around about 4 months into the show. It looked very different at the beginning. It was a lot more like superhero news and stuff like that. But the thing is like 5 days a week, that's very, very difficult to do news around superheroes and just movies. Like when we do the shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like it's a lot of like my opinions, albeit horribly explained, like today, which was particularly rough, about the decline in Hollywood, stuff about new policies, stuff about new surveys, statistics, and that's fun and it's interesting, but it doesn't fill up 5 days a week. And Mary has very, very different things that she likes to talk about, which tends to be more on the celebrity side of things, which makes it easier because on any given day, celebrities are talking about stupid things. And then that evolved into like internet culture. And you can always find something on X that people are complaining about, which has made the show more internet culture and more niche, but in a lot of ways has made it more. It gives it more longevity.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's a lot of stuff about things that run the gamut from general pop culture, like celebrities, to movies and television, which is more the stuff that I'm interested in, to more internet culture and social discourse. So it's evolved a certain amount in, 4 years, but that's what it is. And it's kind of evolving still to this day. All right. Yeah, in the chat, he says, Brett shooting the shit with the chat about old shows is literally the heartbeat of the show. You can always send me things on X about old shows, and I will gladly engage with that.
He loves that
I love
stuff.
talking about old shows
it.
on there. Like, for instance, yesterday, I guess it's not old shows, but somebody posted a thing like, who here loves Brett the Hitman Hart? And I said, not Goldberg. And people didn't. Some people got my niche reference, other people didn't.
Well, what did you say on X the other day? And you were very upset people didn't understand your TMNT.
Oh, yes. Somebody posted that it was like, on this day in 1986, the movie Critters was the movie Critters debuted in Hollywood, or debuted at the box office. And I tweeted, where do they come up with this stuff? And everybody's like, cocaine and LSD.
They didn't understand.
They thought I was actually asking the question when
Where
really
did they come up?
It's a reference to Raphael when he comes. Well,
Yeah.
in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, Raphael goes and sees a movie, and when he comes out of the movie, he went and saw Critters. He looks back at the sign, and he goes, "Where do they come up
He's
with
in the
this
trench.
stuff?"
That's
Yeah,
right
he's in the
before he
trench.
meets Casey. Yeah, you call
luckily-
this here and that over there, family.
He was very upset.
It was my
people
favorite
didn't
quote.
get it.
Yep. I love
So
that.
good.
You know what? That's great, and pretty much anything said by Casey Jones in that movie is also.
Yeah, he was great. That was actually the first time I was ever in this studio, the first show that I did with you guys. I can't remember. It might have been 900. I can't remember if that was the first one or not.
Maybe. I mean, we always would bring people on for the first time at the bonus episodes.
Yeah. But regardless, the first time I walked into the studio, my eyes literally gravitated to the April O'Neil Leonardo drawing that's on the mantle there, and I was like, yes.
My people.
Yep. All right, that is everything. And not that Jon Stewart has become. He sent every emoji. It looks like.
I love that.
He just got his 1 month membership. His 1 month as a PCC member, and he sent. So it's TV logo, Mary, me looking sad, Mocha, me with blonde hair looking gleeful, Mr. Fluffykins, Phil, Chloe, Toast, Chair.
Love that.
Perfect. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already? I see Mike in the chat. Cricket? You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. Remember, if you are a member of PCC, a channel member, I am going to be recording a bonus episode talking about Avengers Doomsday with Valiant Renegade. You should go subscribe to his channel on YouTube. He does great work, and I'm looking forward to having a discussion with him tonight. I want to put that episode out tomorrow, so if you are a channel member, you will get early access to that. If you are just a regular old PCC viewer, that will be coming out Sunday, and you will get to see it in its entirety. But if you want almost a week early access, you will be able to see it in the next day or two, so stay tuned for that. Olivia, where can they find you?
You guys can find me in a couple different places. First, you can find me on X and Instagram at Olivia Dasovic on both those platforms. But if you guys really want to spend more time chatting with me about random things, you guys should go to timcast.com, hit join us, become a member, join our members only exclusive Timcast Discord server, and you guys get access to these guys. They pop in every once in a while. You get access to a lot of the staff here at Timcast, and we're working on a lot of new projects, which I am super excited for, meaning more cast involvement. So you guys should definitely go do that. I would love to see you guys there.
All right.
And officially, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Haven't given you the official welcome to the team, but we've done some work. We've done some work already.
Yes.
Very glad to have you here. Super excited. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. You guys can find me at Brando Boonies on Insta and on X. Thanks to the Dasovics for letting me hang out. And don't forget to check out the Skateboard Podcast on YouTube and on Rumble. I think we're going to be moving to Fridays pretty soon following IRL. Right now our schedule is kind of all over the place, but we got a bunch of episodes up. Go check it out. We'll be premiering another one tomorrow night and on Friday night. So, we talk about skateboarding, extreme sports, viral videos from around the world, the whole 9 yards. So thanks for having me back, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate it. Broody Gambit over on Rumble says, my cat Ivory would get into any food I leave out. Many loaves of bread have been ruined. The funniest story was when I went to get a drink and he ran off with my brisket.
Very cat-coded. That was like first time when I moved here,
Mocha.
first week. Mocha and Chloe. It was both of them. Found out that we had to put the bread on top of the fridge or it was going to get destroyed.
Yep. All right. If you guys want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Remember, PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Ratings and reviews on the audio platforms is a great way to help the channel out, so go ahead and do that. On social media, we're on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at PopCultureCrisis, Instagram at PopCultureCrisisPod. If you are a PCC channel member, stay tuned over the next day to see that bonus episode with Valiant Renegade. And for the rest of you guys, we will see you with a brand new episode tomorrow. Later, guys.
Bye.